On today's part of my take, week 2 of the NFL season, it was a crazy Sunday. We saw some insane comebacks, some stinkers, some good games. It was football. We're going to talk about every single game. We're going to break every single game down, including Sunday Night Football, Bears-Packers. Bears are hanging on for their life, so you'll hear some live updates at the beginning of the show. We're going to do Boomers. We're going to do Who's Back of the Week. We're going to do Football Guy of the Week. And we are brought to you by our friends at Gametime. Gametime is created by fans for fans. Gametime is a new ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. If you haven't given Gametime a shot yet, don't know what you're waiting for, you guys are going to love this app. We've had tons of Barstool fans using it, hitting us up on social about the great deals they're getting. I've been using Gametime all year, and I actually, this weekend, I was in Las Vegas out with our colleague Large. He's like, hey, I kind of want to go to the Raiders-Cardinals game. I was like, you know what? Hit up Gametime. He did. He went to the game. He saw an incredible game. He got great tickets, great prices, because Gametime has the best. So it's easy to use, amazing deals, the fastest growing ticketing app in the U.S. You're going to love it, so download the Gametime app, go to the account tab to create a login, and redeem code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Gametime, last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. That is with the Gametime app. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by Gametime, the exclusive ticketing app of Barstool Sports. Make sure you're getting your tickets with Gametime, the best app out there. Today is Monday, September 19th, week 2. We start in Baltimore, where the game opened up with Devin Duvernay running like a racehorse for 6. Lamardi Gras Jackson took the top off the defense and showed them some TDs. But in the words of my colleague Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend, as the Dolphins mounted a furious fourth-quarter comeback. Bartender, Waddle service, make it a double. Tyreek Hill was the hero, and that's not tzatziki sauce in your underwear, Dolphins fans. You're just excited because your team is 2-0. Dolphins 38, Ravens 35.
And another witching hour stunner, Job Flacco has been tested by God, as the Jets aren't just delivering migrant workers this week, they're also landing in Martha's Vineyard. Nick Cage Chubb scored 3 touchdowns as he starred in the new movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent Wasted on a Dogshit Franchise. It may be recency bias, but this Jets team looks like they're in it for the long haul. Jets 31, the Browns 30.
In Duval, where Trevor Lawrence Fishburne may tricks us into being good, and Doug P.E. Dieterson had his team taking all the right pills. Speaking of pills, Matt Ryan Braun might want to consider getting a shipment to Peyton Manning's wife's house in Indianapolis, because his 3 interceptions have Colts fans doing the unspeakable, missing Carson Wentz. Speaking of missing, I miss my dear friend the Queen, or as I called her, Lizzie Bear. Rest in peace, my majesty.
You're absolutely right, Boom.
If HGH is out of the question, it may be time for Matt Private Ryan to get saved from the evil Reich. Jaguars 24, Colts goose egg,
In a matchup between 2 big coaches, Dancy Reagan Campbell gobbled Ronald Reagan Rivera's D right up. Amon-Ra St. Brown looked like C. Cup as he dropped a fat pair in the Commander's end zone. The rocket-armed Jared Carabas Goff is playing so well he's going to get a bag, and he says he's happy, but we know he's lying. The Detroit Lions might be good? Lions 36, the Commanders 27.
In the Meadowlands, where Daniel Crone said, let's get this bread, as the Giants are number 2-0. Matt Gruel and Quaker Mayfield have Panthers fans demanding a little more flavor. Say rich homie Quan Barkley has Giants fans feeling some type of way, restoring the glory of the 80s with a day ball of Coke and Lawrence Taylor highlights. The G-Men take down the Kitty Cats 19-16. The G-Men are 2-0.
Over to Mile High, where they're calling him Nathaniel Straightjacket because his brain still can't get out of its own way. Don't push the panic button just yet, Broncos fans, as Cortland and Russ hooked up for over half the team's passing yards. The Broncos were in a low-speed chase with OJ, but this time Howard was brought down easily after only 7 yards. Even though the Texans aren't very good, the Mills have eyes, as this team isn't totally dead yet. Broncos 16, Texans 9.
Out in Las Vegas, where it was a tale of two halves, as the Cardinals looked like the Red Ring of Death in the first half, only to play Red Dead Redemption in the second, as Merc Davis had to watch his team get nerfed. Henry Ruggs isn't coming back from the gulag anytime soon. The game went to overtime, and Hunter Renfrow Biden handled the ball like it was a laptop full of incriminating crack nudes, fumbling twice, the last one ending the game. And the Raiders get stunned by the Cardinals 29-23.
Down to Dallas. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Cooperman, as Cooper Rush Limbaugh used his right wing to attack Joe Biden Burrow. Micah Allen Parsons' project has this Cowboys defense playing serious ball, and Dorrance Lance Armstrong had double the sacks of his namesake. Mike Jenny McCarthy won't be singled out this week, as Jerry Jones will surely be taking a trip to the glory hole. The Cowboys 20, the Bengals 17.
Standing on a corner, Jameis Winston down in NOLA, such a fine sight to see. It's a pick, my lord, another pick, my lord, another pick, my lord, that's 3. Come on, Jameis, thought you got LASIK. You better watch out, don't get your vertebrae hit. The Saints don't go marching. Bucs 20, Saints 10. And that was week 2 of Boomers, brought to you by our friends at Chevy. We know that every team starts the season undefeated for the first month. Everyone has a shot, but one team has already won it all. That's Chevy and his star player, the Silverado. Go check out the new Chevy Silverado today. According to J.D. Power, Chevy is the most awarded brand for new vehicle quality, and Chevy Trucks has won more new vehicle quality awards than any other brand. It is the best truck out there, the Chevy Silverado. Head over to Chevy.com to learn more about Chevy Silverado today. For J.D. Power 2022 U.S. award information, visit jdpower.com/awards and check out the new Chevy Silverado. Week 2 in the books. We are recording this. It is 6 minutes left in the Bears-Packers game. I've gone through the range of emotions. I went from the Bears might win this game in the first quarter to holy shit, like let me crawl under a couch and die, to maybe the Bears have a chance here, to Matt Nagy just called a shotgun QB dive on the 6-inch line.
So his name is Matt Eberflus.
No, I know, but Matt Nagy called
But that was Matt Nagy. That was a Matt
Yes.
Nagy play for sure.
Yes.
That entire drive kind of gave Nagy vibes, where it's just like, okay, we're going to run. We're going to kind of panic a little bit right now because we can't get a cohesive offense going. So we're going to try to run the read option all the way down the field and hope that they guess wrong at the merge point every single time, the mesh point. So they did get down the field, though, which
Correct.
is good news, and they pinned them deep.
Yes.
It was like a very long extended punt.
Field position.
That got them down the field. I do want to point out, I saw this fly a little bit under the radar. I think that the Sunday Night Football account tweeted out the video as well. On the earlier touchdown, Aaron Rodgers went into the end zone, and him and his teammates did an extended ayahuasca celebration.
Nice.
Where they poured tea and then pretended to pass out. Is that something that we should be celebrating?
No, jail.
There's youngsters out there that are watching on television. Last I checked, DMT is still a Schedule I narcotic,
Yep.
I think.
Facts.
Are we going to have kids going into school tomorrow asking their teachers if they can have ayahuasca for lunch?
Mommy, Daddy, I saw the bad man. He was trying to do drugs on national television.
Instead of saying tomorrow morning, Lego my ego, Mom, they're going to say Lego my ego because they're going to have ego death.
Yep.
And they're going to just run rampant. And next thing you know, our entire country's going to shit.
I mean, it sounds like you finally are kind of waking up to what I've been preaching. Oh, God. And now here comes the embarrassment. So Sammy Watkins just had like a 40-yard pass. So
try not to do any freebasing celebrations in the end zone this time, Aaron.
Okay, so this wasn't that embarrassing. I'm just going to say it. It was bad, but it's been way worse.
It would have been nice to get 14 points, and you still might.
It's been way worse.
Listen, if you can get 14 points in any loss, you can talk yourself into anything and be like, we had our options here and there. Now,
it would be exceptional to get 14 points because the score's 24-10 right now.
Yes.
So if we found a way to get exactly 14, that'd be awesome.
It'd be awesome. That's what I'm really hoping for. Now, on that play call when they get down to the half-inch line, I hate that play call.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I think everyone hates it.
Why are you running shotgun if you're going to do a quarterback sneak?
If
you're going to do a quarterback sneak, put him up the center's butthole at the time that it snapped.
And if you're going to do shotgun, let him stretch the field and maybe have someone he could pass to. I'm just going to say this. It was bad. It wasn't the worst. I am thinking about all the times where it's been way worse. This was bad, not the worst. I do have a little bit, tell me if this is crazy, but a little bit of doubts. Do you know what Justin Fields' numbers are tonight?
No, I don't.
He's 7 for 9. So he's only thrown it 9 times.
It's bad weather, though.
That feels
you're going into Big Cat. You're going into Lambeau Stadium, the frozen tundra. You're really thinking that you're going to air it out now?
The Bears are running a high school offense.
Jake, can you check and see what the temperature is?
We're not. There was supposed to be rain in the forecast, so maybe it just never showed up. 7 for 9, though. That kind of hurts. I feel like 7 for 9, 70 yards. I don't know.
Ideally, in today's NFL, you'd want your quarterback
degrees.
to try more. How cold is it?
77 degrees.
77 degrees. So you can't air it out. You can't be expected to just go out there and play some newfangled Madden video game offense.
Yeah. The other spin zone I have is that Aaron Rodgers actually didn't beat the Bears tonight. It was Aaron Jones who ran 14 times for 134 yards, which is pretty insane.
I do think it's cool that Aaron Jones still keeps that vial of ashes of his dad around his neck.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. So every time he scores a touchdown, he brings out the chain, and it's like, this one's for my dad.
Yeah.
He's got it right there. It could be too many men on the field, some people would say. But I think it's cool because I think he used to have it didn't he keep it in a bag that was inside of his shoulder pads at one point?
Something like that.
And then he lost it, and they made him transfer it into a piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It is cool. And I'm just going to flush this one again. I know this is going to sound crazy because it's a nationally televised game. The Packers are going to win by probably 3 scores. Justin Fields was 7 for 9. It wasn't as embarrassing as I expected. I thought it was going to be far more embarrassing. There was a moment in the second quarter where it could have gotten truly out of hand, and the only thing that saved the Bears was a couple of fumbles by the Packers that helped slow the tide of what was happening. So I'm going to count this as a moral victory, which is pathetic. A first quarter victory. Just a little stat for you, PFT. If you bet $10 million on the first quarter Bears money line, you would have won $19 million.
Yes, I'm aware
Think
of
about
that.
that.
I'm aware of that.
$19 million.
It's going to be weird for me come tax season.
That's quite a hit.
It was a good investment.
Yep.
Here's another spin zone for you, Big Cat. So our teams, we don't put our egos, we don't tie those to our team's win-loss records.
No,
we would never
no.
start out a show bragging about what our records are in football games where these guys don't even know that we exist. I care much more deeply about teams that I own or teams are individuals that I root for on, I don't know, like an individual sport who might know us and might like us. So like a sport like lacrosse, if we're invested in that, or watching a good friend play golf on television.
Yeah.
That to me
These are important.
is really what should lead part of my take today.
Personal relationships.
Yeah.
Yes. With teams that Aaron Rodgers can pretend that he owns the Bears. I haven't seen any tax filings say that he does. We own the Water Dogs. So
wait, do we have to file taxes for that?
I don't know, actually.
If you're listening to the IRS now, you have to stop listening, or else it's entrapment.
If you win a championship, you don't have to do taxes.
That's good. That's a good rule.
Yeah, that's a great rule.
They should
Stan Kroenke's swimming in that rule.
They should
now.
actually make that rule, at least for baseball, so that some of the owners actually try.
If you win a championship, like it has to be a certain way. Like they should make it a rule. Like if your team only loses 3 games in the entire playoff run, you don't have to pay taxes.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I'm sure people will like that. More rich people not paying taxes. But yes, we'll talk about the Water Dogs. Billy was there. We're going to get to that at the end of the day, or the end of the episode. We'll talk about Max, who's on Wednesday's show. Last thought, though, I really do think, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, Aaron Rodgers only having 228 passing yards. He's so washed.
That's the under.
He sucks. Like, that's it. That wasn't that impressive. So, win for the Bears. But, yeah, same old. We suck, and the Packers own us. And the Bears probably aren't that good, but they're frisky. Let's talk about some other games, and we'll see maybe if the Bears have a crazy comeback. I'll react to it.
Or at least maybe help us hit the over.
Yeah, I'm sad. I am sad, and I did go into the game. The first quarter had me being like, ooh, maybe. Same old. There's really nothing that's changed, and we still have stupid coaching decisions that I can get mad at, and same shit gets run every year, and we now have gone backwards in passing. Mitch Trubisky was like, by the end, was passing like 20 times a game. Now we have a first-round quarterback that's passing 9 times a game. This is great.
It's not fun football.
It's great. The Bears should run the triple option. People would not be able to defend the triple option.
That's what you kind of tried to do in that last round.
Yeah, I know. Listen, the triple option, you can't tell me that teams would want to play the triple option in pro football. They'd be pissed off.
If you just you do the thing that like Mike McDaniel is doing, where you just get the fastest people in the world on your team.
Yes.
Just get sprinters
Yes.
on your team to run the triple option. Sprinters and 1 fullback.
Oh, wow. They had a graphic right now. Notable former Bears counting against 2022 salary cap. It was like Andy Dalton, Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack, Mitch.
Foles.
Yeah. Foles were paying
Cohen.
forever. Yeah, Tariq Cohen. Yeah. It's all right. It's a rebuilding year.
63 mil.
It's a rebuilding year, Hank. It's a rebuilding year. I'm okay. At least I have the honesty to say that.
So do I.
Oh.
I said it.
Rebuilding?
Yeah.
Look, see, Aaron Rodgers can't even throw a touchdown pass, even though he has 2 tonight. All right, let's talk about the other games. We had a crazy Sunday. 2 games that a team that was down 20 points at halftime came back and won. And we're going to start, obviously, in chronological order. But the Dolphins, 42. The Ravens, 38. This game was a complete tale of 2 halves. It was Lamar Jackson's show in the first half. He had 318 yards, 3 TDs, and a 79-yard touchdown run in the first half. It was like everyone on Twitter saying, Lamar's getting his money. Look at this. And then the second half started, and actually really the fourth quarter, because it was 35-14 in the fourth quarter, and Tua gets to fucking just have his day, all the haters, and the Dolphins pull off a stunning upset. And Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are absolutely insane.
I also love that this counts as a loss for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Like, how much of this loss should Lamar Jackson be responsible for?
They couldn't get first downs in the second half.
All I'm going to say is Joe Flacco found a way to close the game out.
That's a fact.
Maybe you should have got rid of him, Ravens. But the interesting thing is the Mike Sando stat continues. The one that we discussed last year about the Dolphins. So now it's 19 games in a row where every time the Dolphins play against a quarterback with the letter O in their name, they win, and they lose to every quarterback that doesn't have the letter O.
Tua always in their last quarterbacks.
Name. In their last name. So today, Lamar Jackson has an O. It goes back all the way last year from week 1, and now it's 2 more, and I think they play Josh Allen next week, so that's a loss.
No, that's a win.
No, it's a loss. They beat every quarterback that has O.
Right.
They beat Lamar Jackson.
Right.
It's in the last name.
Oh, it's only last name.
I think it's only last name.
Got it.
I don't know. We're going to have to fact check
that.
We
have to fact check that. Okay, so then because that will decide where we bet. But Tua have your moment, because he had a couple bad interceptions in the first half. Tua then becomes the only 2 quarterbacks younger than him to have 6 touchdowns in a game. Patrick Mahomes and Mitch Trubisky, 2 Hall of Famers.
Excellent.
Pretty good company.
Yep.
Pretty good company. Tua also, I think he's the first time that a Dolphins quarterback, it's like pretty much every record for the Dolphins quarterback is Dan Marino. And so he was the first one since Dan Marino to have 6 touchdowns, to have like 450 yards. He had an insane day.
So another record that he set was he became the first Dolphins quarterback to set a new record since Dan Marino.
Yes, exactly. Pretty much. Like he is the Dan Marino. Like Dan Marino, I love different franchises have one quarterback that just owns every single record.
Yep.
And look at Tua. He shows up. He's the new hotness. People are debating him. Some people are calling him a backup quarterback. I've believed in Tua. I am a member of Tuanon. And that second half was insane. And we should say Mike McDaniels, he feels like, I know this is early, he feels like the real deal. Tyreek Hill after the game said it was like he was playing Madden out there.
Yeah.
Talking about Mike McDaniels' play calling. And then on the reverse side, John Harbaugh said, never did you think we'd have that many balls thrown over our head. That just can't happen. That's not okay. That's a bad feeling.
Yeah, you want to hear some more advanced stats here?
Yes.
This is kind of crazy.
I'm excited for 2-9.
So the Baltimore Ravens, their defensive backs, they traveled a total of 6,131 yards on pass plays. That's a lot. That's a lot of yards. Like their defensive backs ran miles and miles and miles. And it turns out that when you just have two like super, super fast players, a really good strategy is have them run straight downfield almost every time. And there's nothing you can do if you have both Hill and Waddle running go routes at the same time. You can't defend that and then cover the crossing routes.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
It's impossible to do.
Mike McDaniel's offense, he obviously does a lot of intricate stuff, but it feels like one of the guys runs a go route and the other guy just runs underneath. And it's like you can't the gravity of Tyreek Hill running straight down the field pulls everyone, and then Jalen Waddle streaking underneath. He catches the ball. He had that one where it was, I don't know, probably a 40-yard run after the catch. And again, like Tua, I love Tua because I just love the story and rooting for a guy who's seemingly a very nice guy that a lot of people shit on. Okay, the game is officially over. Justin Fields. That's probably why he shouldn't pass. He threw an interception.
Was that on his 10th attempt?
It was on his 11th attempt.
Okay.
Not good. It turns out, like the weapons that he has now and Mike McDaniel's offense, it's explosive. Like I don't know how you guard those two guys at the same time. And Tua, again, he struggled in the first half, but he was able to right the ship and hit those guys in stride, be accurate. He's not asked to throw like bombs, but it was awesome to watch. It was a stunner. Like we turned the game off. We turned the Ravens-Dolphins game off because it was a 21-point game in the fourth quarter. They started, they scored, and then they scored again. We're like, wait, we have to turn this back on. And the Dolphins are fucking 2-0, and they just went into Baltimore and beat the Ravens, which, like, if you watch that first half, we're like, wow, the Ravens are really, like, for real. They're back. They're killing the Dolphins. Now I don't know what to make of the Dolphins.
Yeah,
they're a fucking good team.
Here's what I'm prepared to say about the Dolphins.
They're a good team.
They're a good team. I want to get ahead of this take. I don't actually believe in it yet, but it's one that I'm going to squat on for about 3 months or so. Once the weather turns cold, I'm going to start buying into the whole storyline of this team isn't built to win in the playoffs.
Well,
because they are kind of like, I mean, Tyreek Hill said all of it, that like it's like playing Madden out there. And sometimes it shows that like football coaches can make things way, way, way too complicated when the best thing to do sometimes is just amass the fastest players that you can possibly find.
Correct.
And then have them run and then have other players try to chase them who are slower.
Right.
That's kind of what his offense amounts to and get them in space. Obviously, there's stuff that he does that makes it a little bit more complicated than that, but that's at the core of what his offense is, which seems very simple. I want to see him run the ball.
Yeah.
I want to see him run the ball. That's probably not something that they'll have to do for a little bit, but I can't wait until they break out like the candy-ass like aqua uniforms. And you've got people actually doing that take of like, I don't think that the Dolphins can win in the wintertime.
I'm 100% on that take.
Yeah.
It was the Matt Moore game when they went to Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And they were wearing the Dolphins uniforms, and it was like
you can't.
He got concussed on that play. It was like you can't show up to Pittsburgh with those candy ass uniforms.
You can't wear aqua and go north of the Mason-Dixon line.
And I don't really know what to make of the Ravens now because you always expect the Ravens to have a good defense. And obviously, Kyle Fuller tore his ACL in week 1, which hurts them. And you expect them, especially when they have the lead like that, to be able to protect a lead. Maybe it was just one of those freaky games, but I'm a believer in Mike McDaniels. He showed up to the game in aviators and like a pink shirt.
He looks sick.
He's fun.
Yeah,
he is fun. I hope we don't have to like have the pendulum swing back on him. If they start losing, he's not able to rally the troops. But right now, he's fun to watch. They're a fun team, and Tuanon gets its day.
There were a couple moments in the game where Tyreek Hill was doing the thing that Tyreek Hill does, where after an insanely explosive play where he just outruns everybody, he goes to the sidelines because his entire body is a cramp.
Yes.
Because he's just like one muscle that's just all over his body, and he always just like he needs to recharge for a second sometimes after plays. But there really is no way to stop him and Waddle as long as you can throw a pass.
Right.
You can't cover both of them at the same time.
I also love Tyreek Hill. There's at least like 4 or 5 times a game where he's running and he's very covered and he puts his hand up.
Yeah.
He's just the always open guy. And you need that guy on your team who always thinks he's open because he's such an electric playmaker. I mean, they had 32 total targets for the two of them. Like, sometimes football isn't such rocket science. Fast guys that are faster than everyone, get them ball.
Yep, that's it. That's probably why the Patriots offense stinks, because they do have a rocket scientist trying to figure it out.
Right.
Also, fun stat, Tua is 8-1 against Super Bowl winning coaches.
Yeah.
So he's a GOAT killer.
He is a GOAT killer. He's also, so the stats were, he's the first Dolphins QB since Dan Marino in 1995 to throw for 450 yards, in the first Dolphins QB to throw for 5 TDs since Dan Marino in 1994. So I'm just saying, I know it's a different league. I know everything's changed. It's passing, everything. Tua none. Expect us.
How mad do you think Dan Marino is that he never got to play with Chris Forrester as his line coach?
Yeah.
God, they would have gotten along really well.
It would have been
fast
great.
friends.
Yes.
Thick as thieves.
Also, first 21-plus point comeback in the force since 2006. It's just the 8th time it's happened in the Super Bowl era.
So
that's crazy.
If you're the Ravens, is it like all doom and gloom right now? Or are you
No.
like, our offense kicked ass today? That was pretty cool.
I think that's one of those ones you have to just chalk up to like shit got away from us.
We got Tua'd.
Yeah, like shit just kind of got away from us, and we didn't really have an answer for it. We'll have a better answer next week.
Yeah.
And we won't have to. Who do they play next week?
Ravens?
Yeah. Whose line is it anyway? Ravens versus
Baltimore at New England.
At the Patriots.
Well, that's good for Baltimore. The Patriots do not have 2 players like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, I'd say.
Not one player.
Whose line is it anyway?
I'm going to say it is Ravens -2.5.
I'm going to say Ravens -4. What is it?
-3.5.
Oh,
no,
okay.
that's my guess.
Oh, that's your guess. All right, find it for us, Jake.
I'm loading. Dolphins host the Bills, by the way, next week.
Oh.
Yeah, it's at Allen.
Heavyweight
So it's the Bills.
What time?
No O in his
1 p.m.
last
as
name.
well. Yeah.
The Packers-Bears game just went final. Justin Fields 7 for 11, 70 yards, 1 interception. That's like, if that was the first quarter, it would be decent.
7 for 11.
Like, oh, it was a
90
tip
yards.
ball. It was a tip ball interception.
We have the line.
Yeah.
Ravens -3.
Oh,
Okay.
Good pick.
All right. Next game.
That seems low.
Oh, you're thinking?
You thinking hungry dog?
I know you're thinking to take the Ravens against your.
No,
Patriots.
I'm not going to do that, but I would have thought it was more.
I don't know. First home game, right, for the Patriots?
Yeah.
3's important number.
What's the crowd going to be like?
Insane.
They're gonna
Raucous.
boo. They're going to boo Belichick.
No.
Okay. Jets.
Same
Browns.
record as you fuckers.
Yeah, well, that's right. We're all winning. We all
true.
suck except for Jake.
Every
okay?
1-1
What
team.
else is new?
Yeah,
That's kind of the story of this podcast.
Even Billy joined the 1-1 squads. Billy is coming back from Philly right now. He will be here for the end of the show to talk about the Water Dogs. Hank's saying no. Jets Browns. This game was crazy because the Browns won this game, and then they didn't. They were up. Nick Chubb scores a touchdown with a minute and like 50 seconds left. Whenever it happens and everyone gets mad.
20 seconds left.
Minute 20 seconds left. Whenever it happens and everyone gets upset when a player goes down because of fantasy or whatever, this is why the player should go down. If Nick Chubb goes down instead of scoring a touchdown here, the game is completely over. The Browns are 2-0. The Jets are 0-2. Instead, he scores the touchdown. Joe Flacco throws a bomb. They get an onside kick. Oh, they miss, by the way, Cade York misses the extra point after Nick Chubb's touchdown. So the Jets score a touchdown, get the onside kick, score a touchdown with like 15 seconds left, win the game. Complete shocker.
Yeah.
0.3% the Jets had. I never trust that win probability, but 0.3% feels right for down, 13 points with a minute 20 and no timeouts.
Yeah, from week 9 of 2001 through week 1 of 2022. So that's 21 years. Teams had lost 2,229 consecutive games when trailing by at least 13 points in the final 2 minutes.
That's crazy.
And what else is crazy? This is one of those things that only makes sense inside my brain. You might agree, but I think some people out there understand what I'm saying. When you see the score 30-17, That seems like so much more than 13 points difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it jumps to.
I think that's
it goes through the 2s and the 1s.
Yeah, the 0 to 7, the 30 to 17 point differential. I think that's the biggest 13-point lead that you can have.
Yeah.
In sports,
it's like 31-19. It seems like a ton.
31-19, game over.
Yeah,
yes,
right.
Absolutely.
Right.
But it was crazy. Chubb should have gone down for sure. And then Kevin Stefanski said, Kevin Stefanski, he's becoming the new Frank Reich, who is now becoming the new Dan Quinn. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that is like in your post-game press conferences being like, this is on me. I got to take a hard look in the mirror.
Oh, I have some Frank Reich quotes just for when we get to him.
Just being the mirror guy.
Yeah.
Like, I got to take a long look in the mirror. This one starts. It starts with me. And then you evolve into it starts and ends with me.
Yeah.
Into that guy. He's not there yet, but he's saying, blame me. Stefanski wants us to blame him for this result.
Okay, you're an idiot.
So
you should coach your guys to go down.
You're a moron.
Yeah.
Because this has happened before to Nick Chubb, right? So you should tell him. You should have had that conversation. Also, you got to change Brownie the Elf.
Yep.
They tried putting Brownie the Elf at midfield. Brownie the Elf is 0-1. Sometimes you got to know when to cut your losses right when they start. Because, it's bad vibes. As we said, he has got terrible ball security. Looks like a chump. Just looks very, very much off balance, running too high, not behind his pads at all. I think after this type of loss, you have to change whatever you can change, and you've got a great scapegoat. So if I'm the Browns, don't let this opportunity slip away.
Yeah, do it right now.
To scapegoat Brownie the Elf as your midfield logo and be like, we're going back to the helmet.
Yeah, and it was the Browns have such a history of sadness that I don't know if you noticed, but there was a brief moment that Dwayne Rudd was trending on Twitter, and if you don't recognize the name Dwayne Rudd, it was the linebacker for I think it might have actually been defensive lineman for the Browns in 2002. The Browns were about to beat the Chiefs with 4 seconds left. He tried to sack Trent Green. Trent Green lateraled it. Dwayne Rudd took his helmet off in celebration and threw it, got a penalty. They got an extra 30 yards because the game can't end on a defensive penalty. Kicked the field goal, won the game. 4 seconds left, game over. And so Dwayne Rudd started trending, and I was like, oh, shit, I forgot about Dwayne Rudd.
That was a great play.
That's Brown's misery, that they're like, this is like Dwayne Rudd over, even though there's not one specific point. I guess Nick Chubb not going down. But onside kick. We never get to see onside kicks work anymore. It's kind of cool.
Also, Joe Flacco's back, baby.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco, he did what Joe Flacco does in this game, which is he showed zero emotion. So Russell Wilson tries to be a robot sometimes, but he tries too hard.
Right.
A robot doesn't have to try to be a robot. It just is.
Yes.
Joe Flacco is a fucking robot, and when he's out on the field sometimes, and it goes both ways because he'll be in the pocket, and you'd like to see him panic a little bit, maybe try to escape a sack, but Joe Flacco doesn't do that. He just kind of stands there and gets hit. But he is unflappable. So it goes both ways. He'll be unflappable when he's about to get hit, and he'll take some bad sacks, but he'll also just stand there and deliver perfect passes like they were thrown out of a jugs machine occasionally.
Yes.
And he doesn't show any emotion. It's almost like you walk into like your boss's office and he's filing TPS reports.
Yeah, no,
he's always looking like somebody is like walking through a parking garage trying to find a lost car.
And you think he'd be a little happier to be in a game day environment, because the story was, he said it a couple weeks ago that his son said that he sucks.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't want to go home. You get fucking heckled at home. You'd probably rather be around the guys. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's true. He has an affect now where it's like he's just showing up and clocking in and doing monotonous like Excel formulas all day long instead of playing pro football.
Yeah, he's doing the thing where it's kind of like a big inside joke to him where every time he does something incredible, he's like, holy shit, I can't believe I can still do that.
Yeah, wow. That was cool. I haven't done that in like 8 years.
I'm old, and I can't believe that I have another chance to do this. He's reached the point in his career where he's so thankful because he knows that he shouldn't be starting in games right now.
Right.
But he's still getting another chance, and this probably means he's going to get another sick like backup contract somewhere
forever
for another couple years.
Forever.
Here's a fun.
And his mobility is very funny because there was multiple times where he almost got stripped. And that the Browns' defensive line is still great. This back half of their defense is a fucking mess. You saw it with was anyone even close to who scored the touchdown to get it within one?
I'm
within
sure.
one. It was right before the onside kick, and you were
Corey
saying,
Davis?
yeah, and it was like, what's going on with the Browns' defense? Their their secondary is a complete debacle.
Yeah, here's a fun little stat. This is the first time since 2011 that the Jets, Lions, and Jaguars all went on the same day.
Wow.
How about that? I wonder how many different league-wide winigamis there are.
Yeah.
Like
That
what,
is a fun one.
I
Have we?
believe KFC tweeted this out. First time Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants won since 2009.
And it also was the first time I believe
Jesus.
that the Jets and Giants had won week 2 since for like 5 years. They just don't win on week 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it was a. I still can't believe it. I mean I don't know. Is this when Robert Saleh says, "Let me pull out the receipts"?
It's
because it felt like they just that one. I don't know if you can. That wasn't a winning formula. They can replicate.
It's throat time.
Yeah.
It's throat time.
Shove it down our throats.
Wide media because Robert Saleh has. God damn, it's one of those things where like Billy has mispronounced his name so many times.
Us.
Robert Saleh. Anyways, my throat's open.
Yeah,
Bob.
put it in there. What were you gonna say, Hank?
Just wanted to get your live reaction. I haven't heard this yet either, but
There's a long history of games between these two teams. Now, we've won 104 times against them.
Not that you're counting.
No, I think everybody in Green Bay is counting, for sure. History.
What has he got? A fucking southern accent now?
he did the southern accent
He's
thing
he's
again.
on perks.
That's what happened.
Arrest him.
Oh, my knee. You remember
He's
that?
on, yeah, he's on. He's,
That's the southern accent that he goes in. That's honestly, it's offensive.
I am going to. I haven't texted him since we had him on. I'm going to text him in an hour and say 234 yards passing is embarrassing, and see. He'll probably agree.
I just don't like
his wide receivers suck.
I don't like when he pretends to co-opt Southern culture by he's doing white voice.
Yeah, he is.
It's disgusting.
Can I ask a question? And this is, we're a judgment-free podcast. We're not going to judge anyone, but I'm just asking from a pure karmic spot. The Browns' loss today was horrific, and they have had horrific losses in their franchise history. It's not a great franchise history. We saw our friend Jeff D'Lo was there, and he was like, same old Browns. Karma. Do you think there's anything to be attributed to the tailgates where it's like a dude with a boner, a mannequin with a boner saying happy endings aren't illegal, free tips, and then other people with Deshaun Watson jerseys that like one of them said like rub, the other said tug? Do you think there's any karma involved? Because I feel like Browns fans, again, I'm not going to go around being like, hey, you shouldn't make any jokes, but you might want to, if you think karma's involved at all, maybe just be like, clean it up, Browns fans, so you can maybe get some wins. This is a horrific loss.
I think if you're Browns fans, you either have to go one of two ways with it, which is you just accept that you got a scumbag on your team, so then you become more of a scumbag.
Which is what they did with that, because that was like they're basically making a complete joke of the whole thing.
Or you just abandon the franchise. That's kind of, I guess Jeff D'Lo is one of those
middle
fans
ground.
that is like middle ground. Like I cheer for the uniform.
Right. You could
whoever's in that uniform, I will root for.
Right.
Separate the art from the artist a little bit.
And there's a difference between I hate when everyone plays the, oh, well, you root for that guy, you root for that guy, like just saying like, oh, your team has that guy. Every team has scumbags. But you also don't have to celebrate like what they did.
Yeah, I mean, you should at least acknowledge the fact that like you have a mom who's a female, and so you understand
maybe
how maybe a sister who's a female.
Maybe you have a dog that's a female.
Maybe you watch a lot of lesbian porn, so you
Right.
feel very close to a lot of women.
Do you know? Did you ever have a teacher that was a female?
So you need to just really scrap and claw at any possible thing that you can bring up to make it seem like you're not cheering for a scumbag. I did see that picture.
It was quite something.
It was shocking even for Browns fans.
Even for the Muni
the
lot.
Muni lot,
Yeah.
which like that's international waters.
It's lawless.
You can do whatever you want in the Muni lot. In fact, like lawlessness is the only law is please break laws.
I guess in
the Muni lot.
in the Muni lot, like they kind of won because it is kind of the whole point of the Muni lot is to shock everyone as much as possible.
Yeah.
And that was, I saw it and I kind of like stopped in my throat. Whoa, you really went for the joke.
Yeah.
And you went quickly for it. Like it's the first home game.
It's pretty bad. It was a pretty bad display they had set up. It was like a giant. What do you call those things? Dioramas?
Well, no, it's an actual massage table.
Yeah, it was like a life-size diorama that people usually make out of shoe boxes. But they're like, hey, our quarterback's super horny. It's like it was honestly as close to celebrating multiple sexual assaults.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
I want to see if they've done anything making fun of Big Ben in the past.
Yes,
and
I would
then
say so.
Compare and contrast the
Yes.
two.
I again, I don't think you have to, we all root for sports are very messy, and I don't like when people are like, well, you root for that team and that guy, but you don't have to celebrate it.
Yeah.
That was celebration. But again, maybe you're right. Maybe it's like you just have to go. You have to one up the scumbag.
Yeah. Well, the Jets came from behind unexpectedly today, so turnabout.
Yes, that's it was a shock. It was a shocking loss for the Browns.
I feel like I've seen everything.
Yeah.
But seeing that dummy in the parking lot.
And those two, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the loss.
I don't know. I actually don't know which was more shocking.
The loss or the dummy.
It was bad.
But both those games, the Ravens, Dolphins, and Jets, Browns, happening right at the same time, because both those were completely. I tweeted like, if you had the Ravens and the Browns today in bets, like you just need to lie down like in a cold, dark room and just settle in and just be like, all right, next week's my week. Okay.
It can't get any worse for you.
No, it can't. By the way, Joe Flacco, 18-3 versus the Browns. Not talked about. Big Ben's the Browns killer, but Joe Flacco also a Browns killer, which makes sense.
Yeah, 18-3. He would play on the Ravens for forever when they were a really good team and they had that tough defense.
Right, exactly. So I don't know where the Browns feel like they just have to tread water until Deshaun does come back, right?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if they
Jacoby Brissett's not doing bad. He was. I actually saw that he had an 80% completion rate. Like he didn't do anything bad. It was the Browns' defense and special teams and Nick Chubb not going down.
Yeah, he just didn't win.
Yeah. All right, Patriots, Steelers. Hank, this game stunk. This was a Big Ten West game.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Yeah.
It was a logo game.
One big play.
This is Iowa, Wisconsin, where it's like, let's just punt and hope the other team makes a mistake on a punt return.
It was a logo game where it was on one of our center TVs today, and I think a lot of people are probably watching and tuning into this. But as far as the actual players that are inside those uniforms, it resembles nothing of these two franchises from just like 3 or 4 years ago.
Although
it's tough.
Mitch Trubisky, nice guy, friend of the program, he kind of resembles Big Ben's offense, where everything's a check down. Everything is a check down.
Check down, really wide handoffs to Najee Harris.
Just check down after check down.
They're terrified of running the ball up the middle.
And Mac Jones, what's your status right now? Did you see the one that he threw that didn't get picked off?
Yeah,
that was one of the worst passes.
I mean, I was in a different section. I was watching the game with the sound on, and it was ugly. There was just nothing. There was that one big play. That's basically the only takeaway you can have from this game.
And the Gunnar Olszewski fumble, which people are like, "Oh, Belichick double agent." Belichick's a double agent for everything.
Yeah,
he gets it all the time.
Good run game from the Patriots, though.
Yeah. Are you having? Remember last week we talked about like, is he the guy? Like for instance. My quarterback was 7 for 11 for 70 yards with 1 interception. I am going to bed tonight being like, he might not be the guy. I don't want that thought, but I'm having that thought.
21 for 35, 252 yards and a touchdown is not terrible.
He did have a lot of time to throw. Like TJ Watt, if you watch that game today, you're like, oh yeah, that's why TJ Watt is so fucking good. I don't think the Steelers had a sack. Like he makes everyone better on their defensive line, and he makes everything way harder for a quarterback, and then Mac Jones felt like he had forever today.
Mac Jones, before I can confidently say he's the guy, he's got to do better when he's out of the pocket. When he gets out of the pocket, it's a disaster. Yeah. And if your quarterback's the guy, he can make things happen.
Correct.
These are the types of games that it's actually way more frustrating than if he had stunk. Because if he continues to have games like this, you'll be in a constant state of, is he the guy?
But he's winning.
Right. And you can't doubt a winner. And then it's like, well, he had 252 yards, but what about the interceptions that got dropped?
We're going to teach you a lot about the is he the guy thought process. Because, again, you've never had to do this in your life. But what PFT just pointed out, Mitch is a perfect example of went to the playoffs.
Yep.
A winner. Is he the guy?
Is Jason Campbell still the guy? I still don't know if Jason Campbell's the guy in Washington.
I know he's not the guy in Chicago because that Monday Night Football game.
Right, but that was
Colin Kaepernick fucking eviscerated.
That was when he was a Bear.
Yeah,
he still might be
not the guy
in Washington,
yes,
though.
Yes.
But yeah, no, Hank, it's gonna be tough because I'll tell you right now, I don't think Mac Jones is the guy, but I think he's close enough to being the guy that he'll have you wondering whether or not he's the guy for a very long time. And that's the worst kind of guy to have.
Mm-hmm.
What I would come back with is that the Patriots had a second-year quarterback and a really good defense. The quarterback maybe not had been the guy his second year, and the defense carried them to a championship. Obviously, the Patriots defense I don't think is as good as the 2001 Patriots, but like I don't think I'm going to have a definitive answer this season.
Yeah, no, it's set up, where he won't be asked to do probably too much. And Bill like this was I bet on the Patriots today because I was like Bill Belichick off a loss, like he's not gonna They'll figure out a way to win this game. It was kind of they pounded the run. They made the Steelers make one mistake in special teams, and that was it. That was kind of the game. Like that was the story. One big Mac Jones throw, and that was the game. Like clap it up, game over. But I think Mac Jones has flashes of guy.
Same.
But
he's got to do better outside of the box.
But that's the worst kind of guy.
Yeah, I know. There's a couple
You
times
guys give no time.
What do you mean?
No, dude, you can't.
Yeah, because here's what happens.
You know what the
after,
NFL stands for? PFT hit him with it.
Not
For
long.
it's a not for long league.
Nobody knows that.
You don't
It's a
have
secret
a
that
lot
they
of
tell you.
time to figure out whether you're the guy.
So the problem with a guy that flashes the guy is he's not the guy. I'd rather have a guy that does not flash ever, and you make it easy because what happens is after year 2, then you start having the conversation about whether or not you give the guy the 5th-year guy option
Right.
at quarterback. And then that becomes the entire evaluation. Then you waste another year
you're gonna
trying to figure out the guy ball test is not going to be friendly to
No.
Mac Jones in year 3. It's going to be bad.
Yeah, you're going to have to start having that conversation next year of is he the guy 5th-year option, even though it's still 2 years away.
And it feels way too early to tell.
We're just speaking from tortured living of like the guy is an important conversation you have to have with yourself.
Absolutely, but looking around the league, there is very few guys.
Okay.
I watch all these
let's do-
games,
let's
and
the
there's
guys.
just
Let's the
really,
guys.
there's
All right,
just
all right,
really
all right,
not
all right,
any
all
out
right,
there.
We'll go
Josh
1 for 1.
Allen.
All right, Josh Allen's a guy. Patrick Mahomes is a guy, so that's 2.
I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. He's the guy.
Is he?
Oh, don't start that, Hank.
I'll allow it, but we
As
got
of this very moment.
At
he's
this
the guy.
very moment.
I would go so far as to say he's him.
Lamar,
Yep.
Yep.
that's a guy.
Definitely a
4.
guy.
We're missing like way too many.
Not gonna,
Rodgers.
You're not going to like
Rodgers,
this.
fine.
Aaron
Yeah, no,
Rodgers.
Rodgers is the guy. Yeah, absolutely.
Tom Brady.
6.
Herbert.
Herbert. Do you?
Yeah.
Do you
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
he's
a
the
guy.
guy.
Russell
Russell
Wilson.
Wilson's
he's
the
the
guy.
Not Derek Carr yet, right?
No.
No.
Don't, please don't go there.
Don't do that.
Jameis?
Don't do that. Jameis was
We love
pretty
Jameis.
tough today. That was pretty
Trevor
tough.
Lawrence.
No.
I mean, he looked good today.
I think the Jaguars are bad, but I think I guess not.
Yeah, no, he could be a guy.
Not that many guys.
Right.
Wait, Kirk Cousins.
Nope.
Okay, again, separate.
Kyler?
Not to go all Munilot on
Kyler
you.
is.
I think Kyler.
Yeah, no, Deshaun's a
now.
guy.
For
Deshaun's a
now.
guy.
Kyler, so that's 11. Who else are we missing? Who are we missing? We're missing someone
Tannehill?
obvious. No, we're missing
Tannehill's
someone
not.
obvious. Oh, I mean, Stafford's a guy. He just won a fucking Super
Yep,
Bowl.
true.
Is
He's
Jalen
absolutely
Hurts
a
the
guy.
guy?
No, not yet.
He could be guy adjacent.
He's not guy yet.
Yeah, he's not all the way
Dak?
guy.
Oh,
Dak?
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff,
definitely a guy.
14 guys we've just counted.
So less than 50%.
That's a decent amount of guys.
Yeah, but half of them are super old. Like Rodgers, Wilson, Brady. I don't know that. I mean, they're obviously the guys, but they're on their way
They're
out.
men.
Let's just.
They're old men.
I'm just saying it's a question. I mean, like I think the Steelers right now are going to have to ask, like, hey, we gotta probably put in the guy that we got to figure out if he is the guy, and Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
And again, I love Mitch, but like that was tough to watch the Steelers offense today.
The NFL is a guy-driven league, and if you don't have one, then you're looking for one.
Yep.
That's just how it goes.
Tua?
Tua's a guy.
This is the year
yes,
for Tua.
Tua's a guy.
If they don't
Tua's
make
a
the
guy.
playoffs,
Yeah.
not the guy.
No, he's the guy.
Jake, it
saw
sounds
him
like you're ready to write Tua off.
No, at the beginning of
hope
the
not.
season, like that's what I was saying to myself.
Tua's a guy.
They didn't make the playoffs.
Tua's a guy.
Yeah.
Tua's the real.
So far, he's the guy.
Is
Yeah.
Dak the guy?
Yeah.
We'll have to get into that because I don't know. I might even throw a challenge flag on Dak.
Yeah, Cooper Rush might be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He won the game today. All right. So, any last things about the Steelers Patriots?
No.
I
Nothing
think
out
they're.
of luck.
I
Great
think
receiver.
I think they're actually kind of very similar teams where they won't.
I love that. Hank
That was Max.
If Hank has a way, he will find a way
Yeah.
to just needle Philadelphia.
Yeah.
No, he had a
entire
great
city.
game. Yeah, that was my
He
takeaway
did.
from the game. He had a
He
great
did.
game.
Yeah,
And
but
Belichick-
fact or fiction, would you have said that if he wasn't a former Philadelphia Eagle?
Fact.
Belichick said after that.
Look
he
at the
does a
stat
lot.
sheet.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Fact. You wouldn't have said that if he wasn't a former Philadelphia Eagle.
Fiction.
Thank you for. No, you already said fact.
I also think you can tell a
Learn the
lot
rules.
about the Patriots by whether Belichick's smiling or not. And there were some pictures of him like smiling, very large smile after the game because I think
Well, he loves those type of games.
Well, and he
Like,
also
loves winning those games.
Yeah, right. And he also, I think, knows deep down like probably not the most talented roster. So getting wins that way is fun for him.
So do you think that Bill Belichick is kind of challenging himself to play the NFL in expert mode right now?
Yeah, kind of.
To play with a guy who's not the guy. So like he had
no offensive coordinator.
Yeah, no offensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator, a failed head coach, former defensive coordinator as your offensive coordinator.
And a failed former head coach, special teams coach as your other offensive coordinator. So yeah, I think Belichick.
And your son is defensive coordinator.
No, I think that's what's going on right now in New England is he's trying to just grit his way to he has a bet. It's like that movie, was it Trading Places?
Sure.
Where they made that like bet for $1. Bill Belichick has a bet with Nick Saban that's like, can I take a college roster and a college coaching staff and end up going above 500?
Yeah, they both were like, hey, can you win a championship with Brett Bielema?
Yeah.
And they both gave it a shot.
Yeah. I think that's what's happening here.
Yeah. Bill Belichick was just essentially walked into the season, was like, put some more weight on the bar.
Yep.
I want to see if I can fucking max 450.
Yep.
And so he's doing it.
I like our chances.
They're 1-1. All right, before we get to the next game, PFT, you got a quick word from one of our sponsors?
Yeah, before we get into more football talk, I want to talk to you guys about Coors Light because I don't know about you guys, but I had a couple Blue Mountains this weekend. I know Billy had a couple Blue Mountains, entertaining some clients. The Water Dogs are chugging Blue Mountains right now. I'm very happy to see all the champagne, all the beer being poured in the locker room. Our weeks are filled with deadlines these days, responsibilities and stress in general. But guess what? It's college football season, and when the weekend hits, you've got to protect your chill. I like that. Protect your chill, guys. So this season, make time to chill out and catch the game at your favorite bar. And while you're at it, order an ice-cold Coors Light. It's the beer that's made to chill. I had a couple frosty, ice-cold Coors Lights on Friday night. Was watching some college football, winning some bets. Protect your chill this season with Coors Light. Coors Light is the beer of college football. Whether your team's a powerhouse with a record to keep or an underdog with a point to prove, one thing's for sure, it's going to be a hell of a season. Stay refreshed through all the action with Coors Light. Some of the favorite things that I saw this weekend were people sending their outdoor TV setups with ice-cold Coors Light. Protect your chill this season with Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Okay, next up, Lions Commanders. I know, PFT, you have a lot you want to say. I'll just start with the Lions might be good.
So the Lions played the best half of football that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Jared Goff.
And they should have been winning by a lot more than they were. But that first half that they played was just all facets of the game.
Yeah.
Just like firing on every single cylinder. The pass rush, Aiden Hutchinson had like 3 sacks.
3 sacks in the first half.
All
over Carson Wentz.
And our defense was so bad. I guess we were keeping their best weapon, which is Jack Fox, their punter, off the field. So that was smart by just letting them continue to drive on
Can I ask a question real quick? Because this is a safe space. We're all talking about our team's deficiencies. Again, my quarterback was 7 for 11 for 70 yards and an interception. You just said our defense was so bad. I think your defense might just be bad.
It was bad today.
And it wasn't bad. Great week one.
No, it was bad week one too.
Yeah, so it might just be bad.
But then it was bad last year.
Yeah, right.
So we're a bad defense. We're a bad team. We have many, many flaws. Carson Wentz again he's got no internal clock. He's a spaz back there when he's playing quarterback. I've never seen a quarterback besides Carson Wentz get social anxiety in the middle of a play. Mm-hmm. And it happens to him every time he drops back to pass.
Well, he does. He'll have a few times a game where he'll pull the ball down, turn around, look and be like, "Oh fuck, you guys are here." And it's all the defensive linemen that are there to sack him.
Yeah.
And we said this last year. He thinks he can get out of any situation no matter how bad it is, and that usually leads into safeties, sacks, fumbles, interceptions.
So the safety, I don't think was his fault today.
No, he just got beat.
The offensive line blew up a lot today, which was tough to see. I think maybe our offensive line just might be bad too.
But
I think we might. Carson Wentz is bad 50% of the time. Our receivers are good. Our offensive line is bad. Our defense is bad. And our kicking game's bad because we missed an extra point. So overall, not a great year so far for
team.
The
not a great team. It was the Carson Wentz roller coaster again because the first half, Carson Wentz and the offense had 2 first downs. In the second half, Carson Wentz had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So doubled double the amount of first downs in touchdowns.
That first half was the best half of football I've maybe ever seen. I actually think that those Detroit Lions from the first half, if that's the team that shows up, they can win playoff games.
DeAndre Swift is a stud. That play where he fell down, got up, and juked a guy.
And he was hurt.
Yeah. Amon-Ra St. Brown is awesome. Jared was throwing dimes everywhere. Their defense their defensive line looks like it has real teeth. This is the first time that a Lions team has scored 35-plus points in 3 straight games since 1952. That team won the championship.
Okay.
So watch out, Lions fans.
So it's giving NFL championship right now.
It is giving those vibes.
Not the Super Bowl.
That was pre-Super Bowl. That was pre-Super Bowl. And I also loved Dan Campbell. This team obviously loves him, especially if they can start winning some games, because we've said this before about Dan Campbell, but he's the type of coach that you can get a year or two of all-in maximum buy-in, but you have to start winning at some point. So it felt like today was pretty important because it's the first time they were favorites in a few years.
Yeah.
He had the practice squad guy who ended up having to start offensive guard Dan Skipper go to the media first before anyone else.
That was cool.
And that was a cool move. And that's like everyone loves him. It feels like they're all bought in. I actually had the thought to myself today, the Lions might be good. And the thought came into my head when you were muttering to yourself all throughout the afternoon, we can't lose to the Detroit Lions. And I was thinking, I think they're just a better team right now.
No, the Detroit Lions,
right?
They are good.
Yeah.
They're good.
Right.
They, make no mistake about it, what happened in the first half, it was a combination of, yes, our defense is giving up 8 yards per carry rushing on the year.
And everyone's open downfield.
Not good, and everyone's open. Again, not good. But also, Detroit played really well today.
Yeah.
They did. Every single facet of the game, they played well in the second half. Obviously, they gave up some points. They had some points to play with on defense. And Carson Wentz went out there, and in the second half, I actually thought that they were going to come back. It looked like it was going to be comeback.
I did too.
And then they missed an extra point at the end, and then it was all over at that point. And then we had the saddest onside kick.
Yeah.
There's nothing sadder than an onside kick that doesn't even go 5 yards. It's insulting because you're having to resort to desperate tricks to try to win a game. And then if you get a flag thrown on you because your desperate trick was too incompetent to qualify as a play, that's just twisting the knife in my soul. And
it goes sadness for onside kicks. It goes kick doesn't go 10 yards. Kick goes directly out of bounds, so no one even touches it. And then your guy touches it before the 10 yards.
This was also a trick onside kick where they started with the ball on its side. And so they tried to do the thing where they kicked it sideways.
Yeah.
And so it was just a colossal fuck
Knuckle
up.
puck.
There should be onside kick specialists.
Yeah.
If you're an onside kick specialist and you can just do the same repetitive motion over and over and over again, that should be worth a roster spot, I think.
Younghoe Koo.
Youngway.
Youngway Koo.
Yes.
How you say his name?
I think it's Youngway.
Yeah, that's Youngway.
Yeah, because
it's spelled Younghoe?
It's spelled.
Correct.
It's very
okay.
it's tricky.
So I just went with the spelling.
Yeah. So it was demoralizing to lose that way. Having just absolutely no chance in the first half and then a glimmer of hope and having that snuffed out.
Reeling you back in.
And I'm down to my last straw again with this franchise. And it's not to take anything away from the Detroit Lions, but we did just lose to the Detroit Lions. So that's
they're not those.
I know, but you know, Big Cat,
I know. Well, the Bears play them twice a year and we lose to them.
Hearing that, just thinking about that phrase is not fun to do. So I'm down to my last straw. I'm not one to call for another man's job. Why is Jack Del Rio still the defensive coordinator?
I don't know.
Why?
That's a good question.
Friends
with Ron Rivera.
All last year. Yeah, I think Ron doesn't want to fire his guys.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, no, you'll have to fire me to get to Jack. If Jack Del Rio doesn't get fired, we dust up.
Okay.
We dust up. It's going to be a dust up.
I have one last question about this game. Did I lose you to advanced analytics?
How?
29-15,
oh,
10 minutes left.
That was different.
The
Okay,
Washington
so I'm glad you brought
Commanders go
this up.
for 2, and you're like, why are we going for 2? I was like, PFT, might I remind you,
Yeah.
down 14, score a touchdown, go for 2.
Okay, I'm glad
And you're like, I don't like this situation. I was like,
Yeah.
you got to trust it.
I'm glad you brought this up because we found ourselves in that situation 3 times in the fourth quarter. And so the first time I was like, yeah, you got to go for 2 here.
Well, no, they were
14.
down 8 the first time.
Okay, and then
I mean, they were down.
No.
No, it was 22. They were down 15.
Yeah, so
they weren't down 14.
Yeah,
so
we're down-
that made sense.
So we're down 15, and I was like, yes, let's go for 2 here. Then we go for 2.
Get it?
We get it. And then in my mind, I'm like, okay, we already did the thing where we went for 2. so I don't have to have this conversation with myself again. And then the next time we score, it's like, wait, I have to go for 2. I just went for 2.
You have to.
How many times am I going to have to go for 2 on this?
You got to trust the numbers.
At that point, I got too deep into the numbers, and I was just like, kick a field goal, kick an extra point, and then that proved to be impossible for us to do also.
Right. So you're still on the side of when you're down 14, you score late in the game, you got to go for 2.
Unless you just went for 2 and got it previously, because you can't go for 2 twice in a row.
It felt good to be able to flex on people again, like you don't understand math.
Yeah, it was depressing watching this game.
Yeah.
Ruined the Gami.
Ruined the Gami.
They that last time, 36-29, but they kicked the extra point, missed karma.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than ruining a Gami.
Well, we're 500 right now. We're 1 game out of first place in the division.
There you go. The Giants
sit atop. They're in the catbird seat.
2-0. Okay, next up, Bucs Saints. This game stunk. Holy shit. This was the coolest thing that happened in this game was when Mike Evans and Lattimore got in a fight, and then the Saints lost their cool for the rest of the game. They got screwed by some suspect calls, and also Jameis threw just some unconscionable picks. Well, not really for him. They were kind of old school. They were old school Jameis picks.
Yeah, Jameis threw some perfectly normal Jameis Winston
pick 6.
picks.
Yeah. But this game was so bad for so long, and then it just broke open. It was like, well, fuck the Bucs. The Bucs defense is very, very good because they let up no touchdowns week 1.
Yep.
13 in 2 games.
Yeah, a touchdown this week, but it was kind of garbage time. Their defense is so fucking good, and I don't know. Tom Brady seems very agitated all the time.
Yeah, he's angry. You see him? He smashed the tablet.
I also liked Mike Evans. Mike Evans and Lattimore have beef, so that was not crazy that happened. But if you saw Mike Evans pleading with the ref to not get kicked out of the game, you can hear him you can lip read. He says, "That's Tom Brady. What do you want me to do?"
Yeah, he had to have his back.
He had to have his back.
And basically, Lattimore was talking shit to Tom Brady, and so Mike Evans saw Fournette come over, push Lattimore.
Yep.
And Mike Evans, I mean, he gets into a fight with Lattimore every single time they play.
Every time.
Either
I
him
love it.
or CD Deuce from last year. But if it's the Saints against the Bucs, you know that Mike Evans is going to get kicked out of the game, or at least do something where he should get kicked out of the game for it. Who do you think won that trade if Mike Evans and Lattimore get kicked out of a game together? I feel like that should favor the Saints.
It should, but it felt like the Saints lost their cool after.
Yeah,
the Bucs have Tom Brady, so he was like, "All right, I just need to get." That was such a classic game, and I was saying it because I had taken the Saints, and I was like, "This game is just hanging around that Tom Brady will make a play." And Jameis will make a mistake, and that will be all she wrote.
Yep.
And it almost went exactly like that, where he hit one big pass, they score a touchdown, and then Jameis goes and throws a pick 6, and it's like, yep, that was fun. Why'd we do the first 3 quarters of them just hanging out and doing nothing?
Yeah. Jameis also, we should mention, he played with 4 broken vertebrae.
Yeah,
he's actually a fucking warrior out there.
Pain everywhere.
He's going out on a shield. It's pain. I like that Jay Glazer put that out before the game, and he was just like, but don't worry, he's going to be wearing some extra padding to cover up the 4 broken bones in his back that he'll be getting hit on.
Yes.
It's like, I'm sure that's really gonna do it for him there, Jay. It was like a couple years ago when they said that Drew Brees, they kept discovering new broken ribs on him, and but he put on an extra flak jacket today. So so the 12th broken rib is actually not that much worse than the 11th.
Well, he can't throw the ball, but his ribs are there, and he can stand behind center.
Yeah. Had a note here. Sean Payton needs to work harder as shadow coach, because I think he is the shadow coach of the New Orleans Saints right now. He was on TV during the game today.
Yeah, wearing a visor.
He was wearing a visor with a suit, which is a combo that I don't think has ever been done before.
Well,
it's rare to get. I mean, think of how many people have existed wearing clothes. I don't think anyone's wore a full-piece suit and a visor at the same time.
They love having the new coach be like, "What were you known for? Oh, a visor? Okay, let's have you do the visor." It'll be visor talk with Sean Payton.
Yeah.
For 60 seconds in between commercial breaks.
It was shocking.
Yeah.
No, it was shocking though to see that.
That's the mind of a TV exec.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, what were you known for? Like if Belichick retired and went into media, they'd be like, all right, we're gonna do Belichick mumbles for 60 seconds, and it's gonna be great. People are gonna fucking love it.
Yeah, if Andy Reid, they're just like, eat 3 steaks.
Yeah, right.
Just like, we're gonna have a camera on you, Andy.
Yeah, they just like, all right. Let me think. All right, you did this, so let's just keep doing this forever.
Yep.
And boom, show gets made. This game was tough to watch, but I do think the biggest takeaway is that the Bucs are absolutely Super Bowl contenders, but it probably won't be. It's going to be in large part because of their defense, and then Tom Brady just has to get to a point where, because he hasn't looked super sharp, but he will eventually.
He's taking Victory Wednesdays off now.
Yeah,
that's the new thing that he said. Like
those are wife Wednesdays.
Moving forward, this where
where he pleads with his wife to please stay.
That's probably why he smashed the tablet, because Giselle didn't tweet "Good luck, baby" to him today.
Yeah,
he was checking her timeline, saw it was empty.
It was actually a Ring account, and she was not there. She was not at home again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So he's taking Victory Family Wednesdays, which I kind of understand that. He is 45 years old.
Yeah.
He's dealing with some real life shit right now.
Yeah, real life shit.
Like, what gets accomplished on a Wednesday anyways?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
No. Also, Bruce Arians completely lied to us when he said, I've got my last flag in the NFL, because he was on the sidelines yelling at refs today. He's 100% getting a flag this year.
He's motherfucking them.
Yeah. He and Jason Light were on the sidelines. Very weird. I wonder if maybe they just the Saints don't give him sweets or something.
I don't know.
But it's weird to see
he's
the former coach and the GM standing on the sideline.
Special consultant. That's actually, it's not a bad role for Bruce Arians. I think that he'd get kicked out of the game before he'd get a flag, right?
Yeah. Yeah, probably. And by the way, for the Bucs, we get to find out how good this defense actually is, because they play the Packers next week and the Chiefs the week after.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Pretty fucking good games.
I might be ready to do the Max Kellerman thing, be like, I think the game's passed Tom Brady by. But his defense might be good enough to make me look like an idiot if I do that.
I would like to see. I'm not going to do it, because this feels like a Mike Evans. Got kicked out of this game. Julio Jones hurt. Chris Godwin hurt. He's still trying to figure out life without Gronk. Gronk might still come back. I'm gonna put a pin in it till November. Okay. If November they're not scoring touchdowns, I'll be like, yeah, this is kind of weird. But this doesn't. This feels like a guy who took 11 days off of training camp and has some new receivers, and a couple of them are old.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Hank? Tom Brady. Give me a rating.
He'll be ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, I think he'll be totally fine. I think it's just early season, no Gronk.
He's 45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does, like, again, he does not have Gronk, and he's going through maybe the D word. So he's got some things going on in his brain. But these next two games, they got Packers, Chiefs.
He looks like he lost a lot of weight, too.
He does, big time.
In his face.
Yeah. And then they play the Falcons, Steelers, and Panthers. They might not give up a touchdown in that three-game stretch.
Falcons, Steelers, Panthers. Win.
They might not give up. They might over-under the Falcons, Steelers, and Panthers scoring 35 points combined.
Under.
Yeah.
One's going to be a shutout.
Isn't that crazy?
They're going to shut one of those teams
I would take the under, too. Okay, next up. Jaguars, Colts. Jaguars 24, Colts 0.
Colts don't win in Florida.
Well, I want to give the Jaguars their due, but the story here is that the Colts are a debacle, and Frank Reich, I threw out the question, like, why do we talk about him being a really good coach when I don't know if he is a really good coach, considering the fact that it feels like they always drop these games. He has not won a game in Jacksonville since he's been the coach, and I looked it up. So, I think they haven't won in Jacksonville since 2004. Frank Reich has been the coach since 2018.
2014.
2014 they haven't won in Jacksonville. He's been the coach since 2018.
Yep.
So he's lost 5 straight times in Jacksonville. That is crazy, considering the fact that in those 5 years, the Jaguars have 16 wins total. So there's a 1-15 season in there. The one win, the Jacksonville Jaguars beating the Colts that week 1 game. Remember that? When they're like, job not finished?
Yep.
And then it was completely finished. Here's another crazy stat. In those 5 seasons, it's 4 seasons and then this season. So in those 4 seasons, the Jaguars have been outscored by 558 points. The Jaguars versus the Colts, the Jaguars have outscored the Colts in Jacksonville 121-51. That makes no sense.
It doesn't.
That makes no sense.
They've been very, very bad teams in Jacksonville. Like some of the
Very
worst
bad.
teams in the last 30 years of the NFL. Several of them have been in Jacksonville over the course of those seasons. I don't know what it is. There's really no good explanation for it. Like I guess Frank Reich just doesn't get his team ready to play on the road sometimes.
It's crazy.
I think I know why we don't really talk about Frank Reich on the hot seat that much is because he's always been a guy that has like a Band-Aid at quarterback.
Well,
so it's like, okay, he acts like a guy that's one piece away from having a Super Bowl team, and it's just like if we get an above-average veteran quarterback as a patch, then we should be good to go.
He and Chris Ballard, the GM, together have. I actually was thinking about it because it's like, why aren't we talking about Frank Reich on the hot seat? I think people actually kind of are now. And then I realized, I think Andrew Luck did the nicest thing he could have ever done for both Chris Ballard and Frank Reich. He gave them 5 years of job security because they can basically be like, Andrew Luck, he left us in the middle of right before the season started. We're still kind of dealing with that. It's actually very reminiscent of the Bulls when Derrick Rose tore his ACL. Gar and Pax would get in front of everyone and be like, 5 years later, they'd be like, well, our timeline got fucked up because Derrick Rose's knees. Yeah. Like, they basically are just like, yeah, Andrew Luck left us, so then we had to do Brissett, then we had to do Rivers, then we had to do Wentz, then we had to do Ryan. Like, they've done the patchwork every year, and it doesn't work. I know it's only 2 weeks. They scored 0 points today.
Yeah, 0 points against the Jaguars. And this was kind of like a revenge game for the Colts to go down there after what happened at the end of last year. I guess Carson Wentz doesn't look so bad, huh? Maybe you should have blamed it all on Carson Wentz.
I wish they probably wish they still had Carson Wentz.
I bet you they do. I bet you Carson Wentz is the best scapegoat to have.
Because Matt Ryan's too nice of a guy to blame.
We might not actually fire Jack Del Rio ever. We might just keep being like, look who our quarterback is.
Carson Wentz. Oh, Billy's here.
Hey, Billy. So when Andrew Luck left, they really didn't have a plan B.
Right, that's my point. They could basically say everyone's given them an extended break because Andrew Luck left in the prime of his career a week before the season started, and that's bought him 4 extra years.
Yeah, so they just keep doing Band-Aid quarterbacks year after year after year. As long as they don't draft another quarterback, I think as long as Frank Reich keeps the team above 500 and takes a cast-off from some other franchise at the end of every season, he probably will keep being the coach of the Colts.
Because other people can just be like, imagine if Andrew Luck was their quarterback right now.
That's all you have to do. Like, upgrade. It's
not their fault.
It's a Super Bowl roster. Super Bowl roster.
Andrew Luck was actually an incredible human being to Chris Ballard and Frank Reich because he just gave him a complete excuse for this long.
And Vinatieri left, too.
Yeah.
And Vinatieri left him high and dry.
So we were talking about coach speak earlier. Frank Reich, I think, is officially on the hot seat, and there's nothing that tells you that more than the quotes that he had after the game. So he said, we'll evaluate everything. That's a red flag. When you have to evaluate everything, he said, plays, schemes, everything top to bottom. Big time red flag. Here's the other red flag. He said it was as pathetic as that was today. The distance between where we are and where we need to be isn't that far. That's a red flag. Basically being like, we're a couple plays away. Like we're doing the work. We're gonna be there. Just hold on. And then the last red flag was he talked about the practice intensity was at an all-time high this week.
Yeah, so that's the worst one.
The worst one.
It's the worst one when your coach is like, you didn't see us practice.
We practiced hard.
We had a great week of practice. Anytime somebody says we had a great week of practice after a loss, that means that they actually did not have a great week of practice. They're just a bad team that was practicing against themselves, and the other side of their team is also bad,
right?
Which made their team look good in practice.
And they were also just practicing you can practice hard and be like, the intensity was great, and then when we got out to the field, we were like, oh shit, we suck.
Yeah, so I don't know who to give the Dan Quinn Memorial Look in the Mirror Award to. If it should, I actually think it's Reich. I think so too. I think Reich's doing the whole we're going to evaluate everything.
Everything's a bad thing.
If he said we don't have any starters going into next week, every spot's up for competition.
Yeah,
that's actually worse.
Yeah,
because when coaches say that, first of all, they never believe it. They're just saying that because they don't have any other excuse to use. So they're blaming everyone.
Right. When
you do that excuse, it's like it's everyone's fault but mine.
Yeah. So the Colts, I don't know what that. I do think Frank Reich is now up there for coach to be fired first.
I don't know if Irsay fires coaches midseason, does he? He seems like a guy. He seems like a guy that would wait until.
He might wait, but I feel like I'm trying to think of who would be the coaches.
If they get shut out again.
Yeah, I mean, getting shut out in today's NFL is crazy. They had 10 possessions today, offense, 5 turnovers, 5 punts.
Who do they have next?
It's bad. That was a really, really bad game for them.
Chiefs. But it's at home.
Titans, Broncos.
It's tough. Wow.
Who else?
Not good.
Who else would be on the list for coaches that could be fired?
Hot seat already?
Hot seat already. No, we got to talk hot seat already.
Okay. All right. Maybe Hackett.
Oh, maybe Hackett. We'll get to
Hackett.
that. Matt Rule, 100% hot seat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fired.
He might be the answer. Actually.
Already fired.
He might be. We'll get to him in a second. He's the next game. We should at least say the Jaguars looked good. Trevor Lawrence welcome to the NFL, Trevor Lawrence. Apparently it takes 19 games. He was 25 for 30 for 235 yards, 2 TDs, looked comfortable, made all the throws. Welcome to the NFL.
Congrats to Chaps.
Yeah. That when we had the guy talk, a day like today can buy a Jaguars fan a few months
the rest of the
like,
season.
He's the guy.
Rest of the season, because you knew going into this year that, like, okay, you got a brand new coach. His job is just to activate Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
And so as long as Trevor Lawrence gets activated at some point this year and shows you glimpses of guy, then that's a winning season right there.
Yeah.
Win-losses don't really matter. You just want to see a few games from Trevor Lawrence where he has stat lines that say things like 300-some yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah, 5 incompletions.
You want some of those stat lines. You want maybe a couple 2 touchdowns, 0 interception games. You don't want anywhere it's lopsided where it's like 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions.
Right.
But you want to see those stat lines. As long as you get those out of your quarterback, then you're happy going into next year.
Agreed. And so if you're the Jaguars, that was a very fun game. Their defense was flying around. Their defense was fucking all up in Matt Ryan's shit. And be happy. You win. You beat the Colts every year. And you might if you actually, because the craziest thing is the Jaguars don't beat the Colts in Indianapolis. I actually would say if the Jaguars beat the Colts in Indianapolis this year, that might be the one that gets Frank Reich fired.
Yeah.
That might be it. The sweep.
I agree with that.
Do the sweep.
Here's the spin zone, though, for a Colts fan. So the fact that you lost 24-0 actually saved Jonathan Taylor, and you didn't have him running the ball 31 times.
Right.
So he needed a rest, because any game that you guys are remotely close in, you're going to give him the ball between 25 and 35 times.
Right.
So this is good.
Yeah.
It's a bye week for Jonathan Taylor. He only had 9 attempts today, so that's good.
That was huge. Okay, speaking of coaches getting fired, Giants, Panthers, and then we will be to our afternoon slate. Giants, Graham Gano, revenge game. He hits a 56-yarder. He also hit a 51-yarder. The Giants are kind of fun. They play with energy. I don't want to the early Joe Judge days, it felt similar. I don't think they ever started 2-0, but I do think this is different because they're playing with energy. It feels like they're buying in. Daniel Jones, there's still times in the game where you're like, what are you doing, dude? But they're 2-0. You can't apologize for being 2-0.
Yeah, I am not a believer in the Giants, but I like Brian Daboll.
Yeah, and they fly around.
I think they're going to win more games than they should because they do have that energy. And also, Brian Daboll is in the position where he's waited a long time to become a head coach, and he's loving every second of it.
Yeah.
He's actually enjoying being on the sidelines, because I think some coaches, they get on the sidelines and they're not as prepared as they think that they're going to be, and we can get to that in a little bit, even though they might have good ideas offensively.
And be great interviews on the show.
And be great interviews and nice guys and almost doctors. Brian Daboll seems like he was ready to be a head coach, where he's like keeping his cool for in-game decisions.
Yeah.
And getting to enjoy himself when he's there. I also like that he's wearing the FDNY hat, even after the week where the NFL allowed you to do that, because it's going to force Roger Goodell into a hilarious position where he has to be like, hey, listen, the NFL, we love firefighters, but I have to fine you for wearing that hat.
Yeah.
And Goodell always gets like timid and nervous about it. And then they'll probably end up doing like a week where it's like, okay, for this week, coaches get to make their own hats that they get to wear. And you can wear whatever mission statement on a hat that you want.
Yeah.
But
he's going to force his hand.
He's going to force his hand on this one. But they look good. And I also like Brian Daboll appealing to the fans. He said driving over here from the facility, looking at all the tailgates, all the beverages and all the games they were playing, they were pretty rocked up today.
So
shout out to Giants fans for getting rocked up in the pregame.
They passed the eye test to me, where they're not obviously the most talented team and they're not a finished product. No Giants fan would say that. But when you see a team like run to the ball, fumbles, special teams, like some of those big 3rd and 8, we find a way to do it, plays, it's like, oh yeah, they're kind of buying in here and they're maxing out what their talent
They're
is.
playing hard, yeah.
Right.
So I think just through week 2, I'm ready to say that I'm a believer in Brian Daboll as a head coach.
And I'm a believer in the Giants with a couple bounces here and there being like a borderline playoff.
Yeah, they could be feisty.
Yeah, they do play the Cowboys.
Playing the
next
schedule game. Yeah, home against the Cowboys. So Cooper Rush on Monday night, and then sorry, Big Cat home against the Bears.
they'll kill us.
They'll have a chance
That's in
at
the
4-0.
throwback uniform
That'll be
night.
the Frisky Bowl off.
Yeah, and then I believe they go to London against the Packers.
The Packers, yeah. But and then the other side, the Panthers. I mean, Matt Rule, just put him out of his misery. He wants to go coach college again. He's 10-25 as a head coach. The Panthers are officially in the red zone, big play, big error team, where like they'll have one huge play where Christian McCaffrey or like Robbie Anderson or someone like he'll throw Baker Mayfield will hit him deep down the field, and then they'll have a play where it's like kickoff and somehow 5 guys on their team touch the ball and they all fumble.
Yeah, if you're Matt Rule, you should probably want to get fired.
Yeah.
So that you can get an interview at Nebraska.
Yeah, why not?
That should be your mission, actually. Like, go out there. You know what he should do? He should go out, run the triple option, like the old school Nebraska offense, like fullbacks and shit, and then use that as your audition tape for getting at least your foot in the door, and then get fired on Tuesday, and then get on a flight for Lincoln immediately. That's what you should be doing right now.
Yeah, because someone else is going to get that job if you don't act. We have advanced analytics on this show. A lot of times we'll talk about the fear of a quarterback dropping back and having time. Like if Mahomes has time, you're fucked. If Tom Brady has time, you know he's hitting someone. Baker, I'm at like a 1.5 out of 10. When he has a ton of time, I'm like, this is probably going to be overthrown somewhere.
I'm ready to do the excuse making for Baker, though.
Yeah.
Because like I kind of feel bad for. I don't know why I still feel bad for Baker.
Well, because we know him and we like him, we root for him. But I'm just saying, he'll have a couple times where he'll have a very clean pocket, or like he'll have a rollout, and I'm not like, here comes a huge play.
You know why? Because I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the weapons defense.
Okay.
I don't think he has any weapons, Big Cat. Christian McCaffrey, that's his only weapon.
Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson's hair is too weird to be a weapon.
Okay.
It's unsettling.
Giovanni Ricci. That's a real guy. Fantasy fuckboy or Carolina Panther.
Giovanni
Let's play
Ricci.
a real quick game.
I'm not a believer in Gio.
Giovanni Ricci.
And G-Rich.
Where the hell? Oh yeah, he is a Giovanni Ricci. Looks like a nice, strong Italian boy.
So
he's a fullback.
I'm not well, then I like him. I'm not a believer in Robbie Anderson just because Robbie Anderson's not a believer in Baker Mayfield.
Was Robbie Anderson the one who was just fucking his girlfriend on camera?
In a car.
Yeah,
he was fucking his girl in a car.
Yeah, that's right. That one I just completely forgot about.
He was on the Jets then. It's quite a visual.
That was a very Jets story.
It's a Jets move, yeah, for sure.
That's not a Panthers story.
No.
That's a Jets story.
No, if he's on the Panthers, he's definitely no.
No, definitely not.
I was going to say something, but then it's too soon for Ray Caruth jokes. So
Yeah, always too soon for Ray Caruth jokes. But yeah, Baker, I should actually release. Maybe I'll do a whole release of the scared 0 to 10, scared of a quarterback when they have a completely empty, like no pressure.
Yeah,
5 seconds plus. He just doesn't. It doesn't scare me.
Actually, Daniel Jones. I'm a little bit afraid of Daniel Jones
all the
time.
Yeah, he's like a 4.5.
I'm not as afraid of Daniel Jones when he's like rolling out on a bootleg and he's actually like trying to evade a defensive lineman while processing a play and throwing.
Yeah.
But if he's got time and he's comfortable, yes, I'm afraid of Daniel Jones.
Yeah, like ask me a quarterback.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff is actually like a 5.5. When he has a clean pocket and he's got a little time, he'll hit someone.
Mitch.
Like a 3.
Yeah.
Jameis.
Oh, I'd say like 8 with Jameis.
Jameis is a floating scale. Jameis is like a 2 to 8, and it just goes. You don't know.
I'd say 8 because when he starts to do the thing where he's going downfield, like you're fucked.
Yeah.
Kirk
Cousins is surprisingly high. Kirk Cousins would be like a 7 because that's not when Kirk Cousins. Problem is when there's any little bit of rush. But when Kirk Cousins has time, he'll actually maybe I shouldn't say 7, like maybe a 5.5 because he also will just check down very quickly if he doesn't see it.
For me, Kirk's back up to like an 8.
Yeah, well, Kirk Cousins people, Monday night is going to be interesting.
I think I'm back into Kirk Cousins.
Jesus Christ.
I hate him. Listen, I hate the motherfucker.
No.
I wish I had never met Kirk Cousins. He's a nice guy, but as far as like on the field play, like I haven't always, but in the last like 6 years, I've turned very sour. I've become a doubter. I think he's one of those guys that's been activated.
the problem with Kirk Cousins is you could just have the argument forever with Kirk Cousins defenders because the stats will always back up the defenders and the eyeballs will always back up people who are like, dude, he's not going to win a Super Bowl.
I actually probably hate Kirk Cousins more than anybody else in the media, and now I'm like, I think I like Kirk Cousins again.
Yeah, you're back on him.
Yep.
Okay, let's do afternoon games. You got another quick couple ads, PFT.
Yeah. Before we get to the afternoon slate, I want to talk to you about our great friends over at Instacart, new sponsor. What is game day etiquette? From talking on 3rd and 1 to contaminating the blue cheese with buffalo sauce, one thing everyone can agree on is that Instacart offers everything they need to load up on snacks without missing a minute of game time. The world is your cart with Instacart. With each cart you build, there are endless possibilities to create stories with the products that Instacart helps deliver. What's in your cart, Billy?
I actually bulk order waters.
There we go, waters. That's a solid order. Hydration is key, especially if you're sitting on your couch. You might be drinking some beer. Want to make sure to mix in the water, right, Jake? Double fist. 1 beer, 1 water.
Absolutely. Always the move.
Absolutely. I ordered some Flamin' Hot Cool Ranch Doritos on Instacart. Also got some salsa. Made a great dip. What a treat. Instacart helps deliver all these possibilities with a fast and efficient shopping experience. Fast and flexible delivery in as fast as an hour, or you can select a delivery window. Get whatever you need from grocery, household essentials, electronics, home improvement, alcohol, pets, beauty, and more. Get free delivery when you cart your first order on the Instacart app by going to instacart.com. Get free delivery on your first order. The afternoon games are also brought to you by our great friends over at Curve. It's football season, which means that you're buying beer, snacks, maybe even a new couch for the most premium watching experience. Whatever you're buying, if you're using a card for any purchase, big or small, you need Curve, because Curve combines your entire wallet into a single card and app. With Curve, you upload your cards into the Curve app. Then when you use Curve, you can swipe and indicate what card you want to use. Or you can assign your card for certain purchases within the Smart Rules feature. Maybe you want a specific card to cover anything over $100, while a different, more rewarding card to pay for groceries. It's easy. You just set and forget. They give you additional cash back as well on top of any rewards that you're already earning on your credit and debit cards. So make sure to go to curve.com/barstool to receive $20 in Curve cash once you've downloaded the app, opened an account, and made a first transaction. Sign up at curve.com/barstool. Receive $20 in Curve cash. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, afternoon games. Rams 31, Falcons 27. The Rams almost falconed against the Falcons, including being up 28-3. Crazy ending. That was a game that if you bet the Rams, you probably want to take a week off.
Yeah, so that's me.
Yeah.
I had a couple of those this week. I was on the wrong side of several of those. In theory, I want to take a week off, but in practice, we got 2 Monday night games tomorrow. So got to get back on that horse.
Yes.
The Falcons, in a way, did Falcons after the Rams kind of took the Falcons' torch from them for a second, and it looked like the Falcons were going to come back. Marcus Mariota needs to – someone's got to teach him how to throw a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
I think
not a Hail Mary guy. They need a backup
guy.
Two
very bad Hail Marys. They should put Desmond Ridder in for the Hail Marys.
Yes, I'd agree. It was like you saw just enough out of the Rams in the first 3 quarters. You're like, oh, the Rams are going to be fine. And then you saw just enough out of like the 4th quarter. You're like, oh, shit, this is kind of weird. And Matt Stafford won a Super Bowl. I think he's a Hall of Famer. He's still, no matter what, this is why I like Matt Stafford. The guy still loves to throw a good interception. He just does. You know, he loves to have 1 or 2 a game where he's just like, I'm just going to fucking throw it to the other team. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, Big Cat.
And usually it gets intercepted.
If you're the Atlanta Falcons, and again, not to go right after Arthur Smith.
He's our guy.
But he tells us to give them all the rat poison.
He said bury us.
Bury us after the games. How many times would you try to target Kyle Pitts?
Oh, that's funny because I know the answer to this. It would be definitely more than 7 in the first 2 games total.
Yes, that's
how
probably
many was it
a good
today?
plan. He targeted 3 times.
3
targets to Kyle Pitts, who's frankly like unstoppable.
Well, here's a spin zone for the Falcons. Drake London, their wide receiver they drafted out of USC, he's awesome. Mm-hmm. So maybe Arthur Smith just doesn't realize you can throw it to both of them.
Yeah, so Drake had 12 targets.
Yeah, right. So I think he'll figure it out. Like, Arthur, you're listening to this, like, it's not an either-or situation.
Yeah, and
both can get targets.
He also said, we're not playing fancy football. We're trying to win out there.
Right.
That's a fair statement to
correct.
make. But you can also sometimes lose if you don't target your players who happen to get a lot of fancy points when they make catches. That's a very easy way to not generate enough offense and score real points.
Yeah. Listen, we don't know a ton about football compared to these coaches. So let's just say, Arthur, maybe just follow in the footsteps of Mike McDaniels, who's like, hey, throw ball to fast guy, let fast guy do fast things.
You can also
game gets won.
So you can also do that, but substitute the word fast for big
and fast. Kyle
guy.
Pitts is also fast,
but also like
he's
the bigger
fast.
and fast guy.
Yes,
you can throw past him. He'd score.
I think it's also look, as long as the Falcons are going to be okay long term, as long as they know that Marcus Mariota is not the guy. Yeah. Going back to this is a big guy talk.
This is the guy episode.
But this is one of those situations where Marcus Mariota will do just enough where you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. But you got to be like, hey, we still need to find our franchise quarterback. And if they are in that mode, they'll be okay because Drake London is very good. Calvin Ridley, when he comes back, is very good. Mm-hmm. Kyle Pitts is very good. Their defense, they have a couple guys on defense that like they're not the Falcons. It doesn't feel like they're the Falcons from the last couple of years where it was like, yeah, they just suck. And they'll win a couple games, but they just don't have like enough people out there.
Yeah.
They were, I mean, yeah, maybe I'm wrong because maybe it was just a flash in the pan fourth quarter, but I think they'll be competitive in games.
So they might be, but if they're not, and this is big if things start to go south, Arthur, you should just put Desmond Ridder in the second half of the season. Yeah. Have him throw to Kyle Pitts a few times.
And Drake London.
Maybe you cover a few spreads at the end of those games. Maybe you win one or two of them, and then you have momentum that you have to stick. You can't get rid of me because me and Desmond Ridder, we got a thing going on. Bring me back for next year.
You cover a couple spreads. Calvin Ridley's happy now.
There you go.
The whole thing
and then next year, it's like, wow, synergy.
Yeah. Kyle Pitts, by the way, 246 pounds, 4.40.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He's fast and big.
It's not fantasy football, big cat.
It's not fantasy football.
Listen, as much as you'd like to get the ball to your dynamic playmakers, sometimes you have Marcus Mariota as your quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what? Spin zone, I think Arthur Smith is doing a great job of not throwing Marcus Mariota under the bus.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what he's doing? He's saying the like blame me thing without actually saying the words blame me.
Correct.
He's being more of a leader than Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah.
How about that?
Fact.
So Arthur Smith, well done, but just maybe give him the ball like 2 or 3 more times.
Yeah, maybe 4 or 5 more times.
Yeah, he's big.
7 targets in 2 games.
Big guy. Fast
Again,
guy.
Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle had 32 targets today.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's so crazy. He really was playing Madden.
Yeah.
He was just like, he was playing Madden with like injuries and stamina off.
Yeah, do you think that they got tired?
No.
Like, do you think Waddle or Hill got tired from just like running? I'd like to see the metrics on them because we did say that the Ravens defense, they ran like 6,000 yards. I want to know if Tyreek Hill ran for like sprinted a mile today.
Yeah, he probably did. And also shout out Allen Robinson. Welcome to the Rams.
Yep.
Scored twice. So that was nice. It felt like with Cam Akers and Allen Robinson, they were like, hey, we watched week 1. Those guys stunk. Let's try to get them the ball. Let's try to get them some carries.
And we should say that Odell Beckham took his official recruiting visit to the Saints game today.
To the Saints, yes.
So he's taken his visit there. He's also visited with the Rams. We're waiting to see what the NIL packages that they put together with him come back as. Right now, I'd say that the Rams have the bigger hat on the table for when he does his announcement of where he'll be attending college.
Yes. Okay, next game, 49ers Seahawks. Well, this is like the Billy Madison. Glad we kept that guy around. Jimmy G. Trey Lance, unfortunately, I think broke his ankle, out for the year. That's brutal. That just sucks because this was supposed to be the most important year probably of his career in terms of growth. Like, it's his team. He's given the shot, and it's gone 5 quarters into the season. But if you're talking about backups, can't be much worse than like or can't be much better, than the guy who took you to a Super Bowl and also took you to the NFC Championship game last year.
Guy?
Well, that's been the question.
Good today. His shoulder's better. He got his shoulder repaired.
That's been the question for Jimmy G for a long time.
I would say Kyle Shanahan says he's not the guy.
I think that with Jimmy G, he was kind of the starter of this team until he just wasn't all of a sudden.
Right.
I think he didn't really play badly enough to get benched. He played poorly enough to get traded to be a starter somewhere else.
Right, and also was
here.
injured.
It's like you're going to make somebody very happy one day, but you and I, we just don't have that. You're not the long-term solution for me. I love you, but I'm not in love with you, is what Kyle Shanahan was saying to Jimmy G.
Kyle Shanahan was basically like in a relationship with Jimmy G, and the sex got stale. He's like, what if I got this new guy where we could like do crazy shit together and throw the ball like all the way downfield?
Yeah, and then it turns out that the crazy chick actually went a little too crazy, and it's like, I kind of miss the stability of Jimmy G now. Now, shout out
injury too.
Well, that's it. He went too crazy.
Yeah,
he got wild with it.
We don't injury shame.
No, never. But how bad does it suck for Jimmy G? Kind of, because he has to play this entire season at like a $10 million discount.
Yeah, I think
he's going to play essentially the same amount of time as he would have played under his old contract. But I think at the maximum with all the incentives, I think he's getting like $14 million.
All right, so you're right. Like, it does suck because of the money, but on the flip side, he gets to start for a team that he knows the offense, and that team is super talented. So I didn't know what Trey Lance was going to be. We saw him for one game in crazy conditions. I do think that like the Niners, I now put them back into the contender territory because I know what Jimmy G is, and I know how good like Deebo Samuel. This is just our weekly Deebo Samuel fucking rocks because he does, and Kittle hasn't even played yet.
Yeah,
so their Super Bowl odds dropped. Like they're better now.
Yeah. Wait, they're higher.
They improved.
From what to what?
I think it was 20-1 to 18-1.
That makes sense. Yeah. That's my initial thought when Jimmy G when Trey Lance went down. I was like, kind of like a long shot of the Niners to go to the Super Bowl.
It might be very unfair for me to think this way about Trey Lance, but I just keep thinking back to last year, that game against the Cardinals. Do you remember that game?
Yeah.
It was ugly. It was like there were so many plays that Trey had in that game where it was like, okay, that's a good quarterback should be able to make a closer throw than that. You don't have to be perfectly accurate.
And the thing that sucks for Trey Lance more than anything, and I really do mean this and I feel this, like he hasn't played football. He played one season at North Dakota State. The COVID year, he played one game. Because remember they had like the show game? Then he sat, and then he played for 5 quarters. Like he has thrown, I think I saw the stat. He's thrown like less than 1,000 passes of like competitive football.
That year,
it's crazy.
That year at North Dakota State, he was awesome.
He was awesome,
but
so
good.
That
it just championship
sucks
game,
for
he
him.
Fucking pushed my shit in.
Yeah, but it sucks for him because
it does.
this was his year, and this was going to be the growth year where they were going to probably deal with some maybe bad performances, but get him to a place where he's third year, like everything's set for him, and now he's back to square one. It's brutal.
So was it a broken ankle or
I think so.
Achilles? Yeah,
I think it was broken ankle.
It's tough. Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Did we write him off? Did we write him off again?
Good game manager. He game managed.
So
I think he had. I think anytime. I think the barrier for game manager, like the quick eyeball test, I think he had 30 pass attempts in less than 200 yards. That's usually a good sign that your game. Yeah, he was 24 for 30 for 197 yards. That's the perfect game manager.
Here's a wild stat. He had an 80% completion rate. That's the highest in a game in which a quarterback's team did not score an offensive point since statistics were first tracked.
Damn.
So it's the best bad game of all time.
Yeah.
That's what Geno did.
Michael Jackson scored on a block kick touchdown.
Did.
I love that they have Michael Jackson. And,
you have to say his full name every time.
And maybe Geno Smith might not be the guy when Pete Carroll was like trying so hard to make things happen that he had that DJ Dallas trick play that was one of the worst interceptions ever.
Yeah,
he just was like, I have the ball. I have to get rid of it. Here, you take it, 49er.
Yeah.
And he just threw it right like 5 yards away from him. Just threw it right in his hands.
The crazy thing is, like, I kind of like how the 49ers look today.
Yeah, dude.
They looked like a very good football team.
They went back to looking like the 49ers where their defense is ferocious and they can run the ball. And Deebo Samuel every, 20 minutes will do a play. We're like, whoa.
Yeah.
What was that? Oh, it's Deebo Samuel.
So I am feeling like a little upset that like the stuff that Kyle Shanahan could do with Trey Lance in theory makes me perk up. Like,
Yeah.
my whole body gets like a rush of blood. I'm like, ooh. It's going back to the thing where it's like, imagine
Yeah.
any quarterback in Kyle Shanahan's system. Just imagine different players playing for Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, we're talking a sex swing. We're talking all kinds of freaky shit.
Makes me so horned up. And Trey Lance was a guy that had all those tools where I was actually eager to see how Kyle Shanahan's playbook would evolve to fit with Trey Lance over the course of whether it be like the next year or next 2 years. So it stinks. He wasn't there yet. So when I'm saying like, oh, I saw that game against Arizona, he had a lot to go. He had a long ways to go.
Right.
But Trey Lance, when they drafted him, it's like that's a guy that I do want to see do some weird shit in Kyle's system.
Yeah, and it sucks. Seahawks, they probably wish they could play Russell Wilson every week because that was all the energy. And then it's like, oh, yeah, this team's probably not good. The team that we all thought like might win 5 games, that was the team that we saw today.
Yeah. DK had a sick catch today.
He did. He had a very sick catch. All right, Cowboys, Bengals. Uh-oh.
Are the Cowboys better without Dak Prescott tomorrow on Undisputed?
Yeah. I was thinking about it. The Cowboys had the perfect game plan for a backup quarterback, and we've seen this with Cooper Rush. It's essentially you have to have the best 15-play script for your backup quarterback, and if that can run perfectly, you can just hold on long enough to win the game.
So you get off to
they had
start.
The first drive, Cooper Rush went 12 plays, 75 yards for a touchdown. And then they were like, let's just hold on and let our defense win this game. And their defense was all up in Joe Burrow's ass. Like, I think he had 6 sacks, but it felt like a million because every play Joe Burrow was running for his life. And now the Bengals, they revamped the offensive line, and it somehow is worse. 13 times he's been sacked in 2 weeks.
So how many? They spent like millions and millions of dollars on the offensive line this offseason, right?
Yeah.
And I agree with you. It hasn't looked a single bit better.
No, it's looked worse.
It's looked pretty bad.
He got sacked, I think, 51 times or something last year. Right now, obviously, it's not going to stick this way. He's on pace to being sacked 110 times.
It's not a good start.
13 times in 2 weeks. The last time a guy played more than 10 games after being sacked 13 times in the first 2 weeks was David Carr in week 2.
And
2005.
Yeah,
he's
that's the guy that we always point to and be like, this is how to fuck up a quarterback.
And that's what's scary because we love Joe Burrow, but it's like criminal malpractice what they're doing with Joe Burrow right now and not being able to protect him.
So Zach Taylor, he got a big contract extension too this offseason,
Went to
right?
a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl hangover for the Bengals right now. The Cowboys, they did their 13-second spike thing again.
Yep.
At the end of this game, but it worked. This time it worked out. And Cooper Rush looked competent as well in the fourth quarter.
He did.
Like, I don't want to be the guy that says, are they better without Dak? But I kind of am the guy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because, like, it's so much fun to do.
Well, because everyone else tries harder. And there was the quote that I jumped on where Mike McCarthy was like, Kellen Moore's got to play, do better as an offensive coordinator. And I jumped on it because I was like, oh, yeah, that's funny. Mike McCarthy already blaming people. I then watched the press conference because I felt bad because I just saw the quote. He was basically saying we don't have our starting quarterback. Everyone has to be better. Mm-hmm. And that happened. Like their defense was better. Everything was better. They ran the ball better. All of that stuff. So I don't know. Maybe the Cowboys, I don't think it lasts. I think this is that one game bounce you get with a backup quarterback. But I'm more worried about Joe Burrow. And I don't know what. It also is weird because last year they couldn't protect him, but they were like, fuck it, we'll throw deep anyway.
Yeah.
This year they can't protect him, and they're not saying, fuck it, we'll throw deep anyway.
So they've got the Jets next week, which is good.
They got to get right.
That's a good get-right game for them.
Yeah, but I'm worried because he gets fucking killed every game.
Didn't they have that weird game against the Jets last year,
lost.
though? Yeah,
they lost
that was a weird game. Billy, you remember that game?
Billy's got a piece of net in his hat.
For the championship.
I know, I like that.
Didn't you apologize for winning that game?
No.
I thought that was the one that the Jets shouldn't have won against the Bengals.
There was a
and you
weird
apologized
penalty.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. But we beat the Titans and the Bengals, so both AFC championship.
Yeah, so the Cowboys right now, they stand at 1-1. They're tied with the Commanders in that division. And it looks like who they have next week. They're at the Giants.
Yeah.
next week.
That'll be a fun game to see if the Giants start 3-0 and they beat the Cowboys.
I think they might. I think the Giants will go 3-0.
I agree. But, I'm worried about Joe Burrow. And my last note on this game was Micah Parsons. I love whenever, the hype is totally – it's actually undersold how good he is. He's just a fucking game wrecker.
He's
just
insane.
All over the place.
So he's back. He's rushing the passer full time now, right?
It's crazy. And then he will drop a couple, but he's just so fucking good, and he's such a problem for everyone, especially an offensive line like the Bengals.
And he's made me change my mind. In Rocky, if you can change and I can change, we all can change.
Yeah.
I think number 11 looks awesome on him.
He looks fast.
Number 11 looks great.
Yes.
And I used to be like, oh, you can't have that if you're a defensive end or a linebacker. He's changed my mind by himself. He looks awesome in it.
Yeah. All right, last two games. This one was crazy as well. This was the other one I referenced it at the beginning of the show. 2 games where a team was down by 20 at half and came back and won the game. Cardinals, Raiders. The Pinky Bowl. The Raiders are officially my Pinky team. I don't know if we're going to clap.
We clapping for that?
I guess. I don't know.
Jake's just a positive guy.
So if the Raiders win the Super Bowl, I will cut off the tip of my pinky. I was, through the half, I was like, the Cardinals are the greatest pinky team. I'll never stress about them because they looked so fucking bad in that first half. And then video game Kyler showed up, and he made play after play after play, including the 2-point conversion where he ran 84.85 yards to get 2 yards.
Quite literally the video game play.
It was crazy.
It did look like you were playing Madden.
With Michael Vick.
And you were just running around, and the defense was too slow to catch up to you, and there was nothing they could do, and you were making them dizzy. And then you get up to the line of scrimmage, and you just run to the sidelines, and nobody can beat you to the sideline, and then just kind of walk in 2 feet into the end zone, hand the ball to the official.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So, 84 yards in 20 seconds, almost 85 yards. So I saw that stat, and I thought, there's a chance I couldn't run 85 yards in 20 seconds.
And he was just changing direction.
And he was running. He was running. He also stopped for a couple seconds.
Having guys
set his blocks up a little bit.
Him. Yeah, right.
He pointed in different directions for his receivers to run.
Yep.
From a flat-footed position. I think I could run 85 yards. But the fact that I had to sit and think about it just tells me what a freak Kyler Murray is.
It was crazy. He really did put the team on his back in that second half, and the defense woke up. And I don't know what to make of the Raiders. You couldn't have looked better in the first half, and then you just completely.
And Kyler looked like shit in the first half.
Kyler looked like shit. The Raiders could do everything on offense, and then halftime came. I don't know if the Raiders weren't able to keep up with their changes, but it was crazy. It was 2 different halves were played.
I also had the Raiders in this one. I had a bad week.
Yeah,
I was on the business end of a lot of these come from behind losses,
and we had
tough.
We had the rare. Needed touchdown in overtime to get the over with the Hunter Renfro's second fumble of the day.
Yep.
Getting the fumble return for a touchdown to end the game.
And I thought for a second that he pulled a Deshaun Jackson on that return where he tossed the ball through the back of the end zone.
Yep.
I thought it was – I don't think that they had a camera set up on the goal line, so we never got a real good shot at it. But that's one thing that Bill Belichick will always be correct about. The league makes how many billions of dollars per year, and we can't put a fucking camera on the goal line.
Correct.
In every stadium.
The new popular one with the Justin Fields play at the end of the Packers game is a microchip.
In the ball, because I think he got in.
Yeah.
7 for 11.
Like a pet.
70 yards. And an interception.
Like a lost pet.
Yeah.
You think that would work?
I do.
Yeah, for sure.
They do it with don't they do it with sprinters and shit?
Yeah, I think the XFL
Is that what VAR is?
Yeah,
kind of.
Not
really.
They do with tennis.
Yeah, tennis.
Hawkeye technology.
Hawkeye. They got rid of umpires besides the chair umpire at the U.S. Open. So
Hawkeye technology
is
slick.
Yeah. So Raiders dead, season over, officially. Who do they have next? This is gonna make me nervous if they rattle off 6 wins in a row because Derek Carr definitely has they're gonna win all their games.
Titans,
in December.
Broncos, Chiefs. Bye.
That's tough.
That is tough. I'll feel very comfortable if they go 1-2 there.
They're in the AFC West.
True.
So they've got several tough games.
Well, let's get to the last game. Brought to you by Rhoback. Rhoback, use code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase. Performance joggers, they're incredible. I love my Rhoback. They have new performance joggers. They have polos, Q-zips, everything. I wear Rhoback polos all the time. Wore it all the time in Vegas this weekend. Go check out Rhoback, RHOBACK.com for 20% off your first purchase. Use promo code TAKE, and that is the Rhoback last game of the week. Broncos, Texans. I don't think the Broncos are good. And Nathaniel Hackett, I like you, dude. You're a recurring guest. You got to figure out what's going on in that brain.
Yeah.
They got so bad with the delay of penalties, the Broncos crowd was chanting out the play clock.
Yeah, they were counting down the play clock. They were probably also calling out runner pass.
Yep.
That's a big thing for Russell Wilson. He asks everybody on the team
pass.
to do that. The stand should do that.
Yeah.
Just help the defense, help key it out, identify it. That play sequence where it was like 3rd and inches, and then he did like almost a jet sweep to the tight end.
Yeah.
And then panicked on the sideline, stood next to Russell Wilson, and then was talking to somebody in his headset. I don't know what his workflow is. That's the thing. Like when I'm talking about Brian Daboll being prepared for a game, Hackett seems like he doesn't. You're the one that should be making those decisions. You shouldn't be like talking to somebody for that long. I think he does too many analytics about it.
Yeah.
And then he's waiting for the people to crunch all the numbers and give them the decision to go for it or to kick a field goal. And by the time he sends his field goal unit out there, there's like 12 seconds left.
Delay a game.
You got to streamline this shit, buddy.
Yeah, multiple delay of game penalties. They had 13 penalties total. Feels like, I don't know. He's got to have the game slow down for him. And he thought it would happen against the Texans. Texans were kind of in this game till the very end. Also, Nathaniel Hackett, not to pick on him because we do like him. The last 5 times the Broncos have had goal to go, 0 touchdowns.
Yes.
That's hard to do.
They're 0 for 6 in the red zone this year.
That's hard to do.
A
couple fumbles, but also a couple weird play calls. And the funniest part of this Broncos team, and I don't know what it's going to look like in a few months because maybe they just got to find their rhythm. But the key, if the Broncos were smart offensively, the irony of all of this is they should just run the ball. What Russell Wilson wanted to go away from in Seattle and what Pete Carroll always wanted to do is establish a run. Their running backs are really good. They ran the ball 31 times for 149 yards today, and Russell Wilson was 14 for 31 for 219. It was very clear running the ball was the key to them winning this game, and it's just very funny that Russell Wilson's on a team where the strength of the team should be running the ball.
Well, Russell Wilson is also now getting booed in Denver.
Ooh.
They booed him.
Uh-oh.
They booed him today. So they're turning on him a little bit.
Yikes.
I mean, their offense stinks right now.
Yeah, their offense stinks.
Offense, and when you hire a guy that's supposed to be, the offensive guru, and then you hire his quarterback,
the franchise quarterback, and give him a lot of money.
Although people don't really talk about it that much, but Russell Wilson was he was their second choice.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
They wanted Aaron Rodgers.
So
Russell Wilson, kind of not even the guy that they wanted.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to keep our eyes on Mills Mafia. Not the best game, but he'll have some games. So and the Texans are gonna be one of those.
That tie it bought us a couple weeks.
Yeah, watch out for the Texans. They will win a game where they are 10-point underdogs this year.
I think they're gonna win 5 games this year.
As not as 10, but I'm saying they will be a game where they will be like 10, 12-point underdogs. They'll win the game.
They're probably gonna beat the Colts again.
Yeah, definitely gonna beat the Colts. Well, they did. They tied them, but they beat them.
That was a win.
Yeah, that was a win. Also, last thing, Jerry Jeudy got hurt. I tried to figure out how hurt he was, so I just searched Jerry Jeudy injury, and all I found was someone asked, how hurt is Jerry Jeudy? And then Evan172-16107 replied, can't be worse than Lance, my fantasy done for.
Okay.
So that was your Jerry Jeudy update. That guy's. Imagine just going around on Twitter all day, just replying to random other injuries, being like, yeah, but why aren't we talking about Trey Lance? My fantasy team's fucked.
I'm getting some reports back that it could be either his shoulder or his ribs. So that actually fits directly into your area of expertise.
My expertise. I'm going to say ribs.
Possibly 2 injuries.
Oh, yikes. The double injury. Okay. Those were our games. Great week. Week 2 was action-packed. There were some stinkers, but holy shit. The Jets-Browns game, the Dolphins-Ravens game, the Cardinals-Raiders game, and even the Falcons-Rams. Those were all-time witching hour gambling switches, crazy shit happening. Let's do Football guy of the week, and then we'll finish with who's back.
Football guy of the week is brought to you by BodyArmour. This season, you know your favorite players are hydrating with BodyArmour Sports Drink on and off the field. BodyArmour Sports Drink, more than a sports drink. BodyArmour Sports Drink is the choice for hardworking hydration. It's potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, B vitamins, and plus no artificial sweeteners, flavors, and dyes. Available for purchase in-store and on Amazon now. Okay, football guys of the week. Our first football guy of the week is the Appalachian State coaching staff.
Yes.
So in the running up for their game against Troy, coming off their big Texas A&M upset, they put a bunch of mouse traps all across their facility.
Love it.
So that the players know not to take the cheese. In other words, staying focused and not letting the attention accolades bite you. So huge football guy move, kind of in the rat poison type vibe, Nick Saban. But
I just hope someone stepped on one of those.
I mean, how funny!
It would be so great.
That is a Sean Payton move.
Yeah. Should have put money in them.
Yeah, that's nice. They did
or
steal,
cheese. I would take the cheese.
Sean Payton. That's the year that he had the mouse trap set up, and he also showed his team videos of mice and rats getting killed by the mouse traps.
I'm actually
to remind them not to take the cheese.
I'm thinking about right now. You could easily do like a human mousetrap for me if you just put like a piece of pizza in the kitchen here or like a candy bar.
I got mincy.
I would 100% just be like, ooh, pizza, and then.
No, I put
dead.
I put mouse traps in Mincy's freezer around his ice cream.
Oh,
I have it
that
on
was
video.
smart. That was smart.
Very smart.
By the way, we will do college football talk. We're going to do it on Wednesdays. That's what we've done in the past. Memes pointed that out because these shows run long. So Wednesdays we will recap and maybe talk a little upcoming college football.
Our second football guy is Ethan Glenn, a high school football player from Minnesota who was paralyzed and was on a ventilator. And his first words when he got off the ventilator was "Roll Tide."
Oh,
okay. Very
football
cool.
guy.
Wait,
guy.
Minnesota?
Yep.
PJ Fleck not doing his job. Should have been rowed the boat.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Never mind, you're right.
What?
I thought you meant like PJ Fleck's got to get him to Minnesota.
No, PJ Fleck's got to. I mean, everyone in Minnesota should be saying row the boat, not roll tide.
Right.
That's a bad job by him. He's got to put a border around the state.
Roll Tide would also be a great like vanity license plate for him to put on his wheelchair. Too.
Yes, definitely.
Our third football guy is a UConn football fan who was in the stands in the fourth quarter while they were getting absolutely destroyed, and he threw up a 4 because it's the fourth quarter.
Nice.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
He had a mask on.
You always got to let him know.
They were down 50.
Fourth quarter.
Down
50.
50.
Now, to be fair, they were still covering. I think they were down 45 maybe.
Yes. I think it was
at the start of the
47
fourth
was
quarter.
the spread.
47 with a spread. So that throw up the 4, that actually meant something at that moment.
Yep, that's true.
Our fourth football guy is TJ Watt. TJ Watt was on the sidelines. He was injured, and he still had his mouth guard on, even though he wasn't playing.
Oh, hell yes.
He was just chewing on it. A lot of people are saying, no, it's Invisalign. I'm like, no, that's a very expensive mouth guard that none of us can probably afford.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And
Good
those are
job,
football
TJ.
guys of the week.
Good job, Billy.
How much is an expensive mouth guard?
I mean, you can get those custom ones that these guys wear that you can talk with, and they protect your teeth, and they're like, I don't know, like $300, $400. Which for like a pro player is like easy money.
Yeah, it's like the anti-concussion mouth guards that don't really do anything.
Yeah.
But they tell you they do.
Are we sure it was Invisalign?
Why would he have Invisalign on?
Well,
during
maybe
the
he's
day?
trying to get his teeth fixed.
Yeah, it would make more sense than
But he
this.
wouldn't be chewing on his Invisalign because that would fuck it up.
Because that's even more expensive.
That's true. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite you. That was good football guys, though.
Perfect.
I think he's right.
Yeah. I think it was a mouth guard as well. Okay. Let's wrap up. Who's back of the week? Who's Back of the Week is brought to you by our friends at Visible. Visible starts at just $30 a month for a one-line plan, taxes and fees included, no family plan needed. You get unlimited data and hotspot, which means you can stream what you want from pretty much anywhere. And now they have a new plan that includes 5G, Ultra Wideband, and global calling. Switch today at Visible.com. Visible.com, $30 a month for a one-line plan. Let's start with actually Billy, because I'm assuming, Billy, your Who's Back is going to be the Water Dogs. We should talk about
Championships.
Champions. We did it.
I mean,
what a moment. Did the guys...
The guys were hyped.
I bought them beers.
Yeah, they were hyped. They were very happy.
Okay.
So...
did they know that we're the owners?
Yes. I told them that I was with ownership representation.
Yep.
And I said, these are the owners.
Yep.
And
what a random picture for that shirt.
I know, Welker. That was a Welker special.
So,
I was just like, I need a picture of me, Hank, and PFT, and that was the one.
As owners, Can we sell the team like right now?
Yeah.
Because this is probably the most valuable they're ever going to be.
Yeah.
Can we do like what the Marlins do, where they win a title and then they immediately sell all their best players?
Yeah, we should.
Can we do that? Fire sale?
Let's sell them all.
Really quickly, I have a piece of the net from the championship I wanted
That's
to bring
sick.
for you guys.
We'll put it up in the studio.
Perfect.
That's awesome. Thank you,
I saw
Billy.
him cut the nets.
Was
out.
it?
It was a great game.
momentum.
Yeah. Was it awesome
great fourth
afterwards?
I mean, it was
You were like spraying champagne with them in the.
No, I was getting sprayed.
Okay.
It was kind of one of those moments where it was like, I haven't really won this championship.
No, you're part.
Yeah, we're
Your
part of it, we're part of
ownership.
it, but
Yeah. No, you were ownership representative.
It's like in Arrested Development where they send the surrogate.
Yeah,
That's
right.
kind of what you were doing.
But they were really great and inclusive with the championship celebration. It was awesome.
That's good.
Six inside.
Yeah, they were just like.
I've
there's a
never
bunch of
seen that.
There's a bunch-
Cigars, but then
Six.
they're
well, the
just ripping
Canadians,
heaters.
bro. There's so many Canadians on the team, and they're just like, "Yo, let's start ripping some heaters."
Yeah, I love
and
that.
I'm just like, okay. And they're
Yep.
like, "Here, take one." And I was like, "Okay, I'll rip a heater."
I am very proud of the Water Dogs. Clip that, send that out. I'm very proud of them. They were, tested all year. It's not often that you can beat a team in the championship that's 4-8, but we did.
It was
And
us
I'm very
against-
proud of them.
It was us against the world.
Yeah.
Seriously, think about it. Like everybody said last year, oh, the Water Dogs, you guys choked. You were the number 1 seed overall. This year, we took a different approach. We were much worse in the regular season, and then we just counted on catching fire in the playoffs.
But not as bad as the Chaos.
But not
who
as
were
bad as the
4-8.
Chaos, who were 4-8, and they made the playoffs when they were 2-8. Actually,
Yeah.
So a 2-8 team, we beat a 2-8 team
In the
is the
playoffs.
more correct way to say
Beat
it.
the defending champion.
Oh,
the defending
wow.
champion
Okay.
Yeah.
With a fat goalie.
with a fat goalie.
He's
and,
one of the best goalies
and
of
a
all time.
hangover.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a big boy.
We didn't say he was a bad goalie. We said
Yeah.
he's a fat goalie.
Fat goalies are good.
Yeah, probably.
He
He's
should be
got a
fatter,
keg.
actually.
Yeah.
Maybe would have stopped a couple more shots.
Also, Billy, we got a report from the ground. Do you want to hear it?
Okay.
Erica texted PFT and I and said, thanks for letting Billy go. They were great. Congrats. And then she said, the amount of people in my DMs saying how hot Billy is alarming on the other hand.
What?
Yeah.
yeah.
And I replied, they don't know his personality.
It was a very hot day out. I was sweating.
Yeah.
Billy, you got some.
you got some-
groupies.
Oh, the guys invited me to shower
He's
with
going
them.
skipping right over
The
that.
guys invited me to shower with
Those
them.
are-
They're like, "Hey,
Erica didn't
dude."
say if it was guys or
That's
girls.
true.
So,
They
yeah.
said, "Hop in the shower.
But
Let's."
Billy, I'm
let's
trying to
start
pump you
selling
up, dude. That's a nice thing. It's nice to be like,
And-
hey, people were like, hey, that guy's attractive. That's cool.
Billy, did
That's
they?
awesome. I like when that happens
So-
to me. It never does.
Their celly was get Billy in the shower. Is that what you're saying?
It was just.
Did
an
you get in the
off
shower?
comment. I almost did. I was like, you know what?
Oh,
That's their
come
championship.
on.
The championship shower is probably so fun.
Do you think our players were DMing Erica saying how hot he is? And like, we got to get this guy in the
No,
shower.
just wanted to shout out some guys who really showed out. Michael Sowers, MVP,
Fuck
dog.
yes.
Ryan Conrad, dog. Jack
Drew-
Hanna,
Dog.
dog.
Drew Snyder.
Dog.
Ewing theory. For
Connor
Drew
Kelly,
Snyder.
dog. Dylan Ward, playoff MVP, goalie, made some huge stops, was instrumental in the win. It was a shootout. It was 11-9.
We watched the whole game.
It was amazing. It was a great game.
We literally watched the whole
like
game.
I was like at one point there was a ton of action. I was trying to watch the end of the Jets game at the same time, and it was a lot. It was very stressful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Thank you for your service.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Billy. We
that was a
appreciate
great
you
job.
going, and thank you for coming back sober. What a shock and what a real treat this has been.
I had so much alcohol on me that I didn't drink that I was scared driving back, like trying to explain to like if I ever got pulled over, like reeking of champagne. Like I didn't consume any of it. It's just all over me.
Right.
Yeah, you could just
Yeah.
do a breathalyzer. That's one way to just be like, hey.
Did you get
True.
a picture with the trophy?
Yes.
Fuck,
Yeah,
It's on their
there's some
Instagram.
good-
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
some
hell yes.
good pictures
Dude.
of Billy with the trophy.
Great.
I'm proud of how you represent us today, Billy. This is a big moment in earning trust, building trust with us.
Yes.
So thank you. Even though we
I
did,
didn't tell you about what happened getting home. So I got trapped in a parking garage.
Yeah, you
Okay.
sent us that video.
Yeah, it was like 5 floors, and we couldn't get out because turns out it was yesterday, Sunday, was Mexican Independence Day.
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
But there was a celebration.
It's the weekend. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
it's kind of like
that's
how
why
you
Canelo
treat
was fighting.
St.
Yeah.
Patrick's Day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of the same thing going on. Also, I told the Water Dogs before this game, if you win, I'm going to adopt my next dog,
Nice.
not buy it from a puppy mill. So
Adopt,
shout
don't
out.
shop.
They
Yeah.
they saved a life
Yeah,
today.
big time.
Congrats, very good boys.
Very good boys. Proud of the Water Dogs.
They were They think I'm really soft because I turned down like a lot of partying. So
all right, now you're laying on pretty thick here, Billy.
Yep. All right,
they were partying hard.
Yeah.
They won a championship.
No, they were partying hard. I've never seen a group of guys going that hard. Like,
they won a championship. They should go that.
It was insane.
These dudes were going real hard.
Dude,
in
the
the shower.
Canadians are wild.
Yeah, I think we should get more Canadians on our team next year.
Yeah.
I like the wild card element that they add to it.
When I Venmoed for the beer, were they like that was too much or too little?
They were so happy.
Okay, good. I was debating in my head.
Steve Napoli.
Yeah.
Dog.
He's the one I Venmoed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were going nuts.
And I was like, this could just be a Billy Burner. And he got me real good.
How was the coach?
He was very happy.
Dog.
Copeland.
Yeah.
Dog.
Copeland. We're pronouncing the D now because they do play D.
Yeah.
We didn't for a while there when they sucked.
Well, there is no D in his name. It's Copeland.
No. It's Copeland.
No, it was the Water Ogs.
Yeah, and it was Copeland, and now it's Copeland.
So I feel like if you respected him after winning it all, you would call him by his correct name.
No. He gets a D.
Okay.
For being a dog.
You know,
and D. Copeland.
That's his first name?
Yeah.
I went over to.
I don't really like that first name. He's got to change it.
I went over to the fat
he
goalie.
wants his job.
I went over to the fat goalie's house, just like a couple hours ago. I was thirsty, and I was like, "Can I have a drink?" He's like, "No, I can't pour you any." You know why?
What?
Because he doesn't have any cups.
Oh! Was the trophy a cup?
No.
Come on, Rabel.
Billy.
What the fuck, Rabel?
What do we have?
It's like a
stick.
Kinda.
Yeah. Need a cup. Need
cool.
a cup.
They have a cup person. They have a person who carries it around with the white gloves.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And shout out Paul Rabel for getting us involved in this. I never thought we'd win a championship as owners, but here we are.
We got to get a banner.
Yep.
We got to make rings.
Oh, yeah. We're going to make rings. For sure. For sure.
Shout out Dukes and Jordy and Mackenzie Lozano.
Okay. Any more shout outs? I like
Are they dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs. All of them. Dogs. All right. Hank.
My who's back of the week is Dennis Schroeder.
Great job, Billy. Great job.
Thank you.
Good job,
I'm
Billy.
worried about saying great job because usually it goes the other way, but I'm saying it. Great job. Proud of you.
Dennis Schroeder is my who's back of the week.
Oh.
If you guys remember, I think it was a year ago and some change, he turned down an $84 million contract with the Lakers.
Bet on himself.
Because he said he doesn't fit their system. He just signed a $2.6 million contract to join the Lakers. So
fits their system now.
All-time bag fumble by him. That's tough. He's back. And I mean, it's been announced. I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but the Pat Beverly podcast is going to be a Barstool podcast with Roan. Their roster just makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like it is set up for an unbelievable amount of chaos.
No, it's LeBron's playing fantasy basketball.
But he already has his replacements.
Right, but it's the names that
like he's handcuffed Russ with.
Yeah. They
Schroeder.
lead the league in names that you recognize.
Dwight Howard.
Yeah. Pat Beverly. Russell Westbrook.
It's going to be fun. Is Carmelo still there?
Probably.
No.
But he probably will be.
Might be a Celtic.
Oh.
Ooh.
Stay mellow. All right, PFT, you're who's back?
I was going to do Urban Meyer, but we can talk about him on Wednesday.
Yep.
For college football
Nebraska,
Wednesday.
Yep.
But he's probably going to be the head coach of Nebraska by then.
Scares me.
So I kind of love it.
No, I mean, it scares me, though, yeah.
I love it. More Urban Meyer.
Because they will be good.
The Urban Meyer Redemption Tour. I can't wait for it. He's learned very valuable lessons in the last 7 months. So my who's back the week instead is going to be people getting clout off soup. So it's soup season coming again for me. And if you're a real broth head, you know that there's no soup season because you have different types of soup in the summertime. But I've seen soup memes going viral left and right now. I feel like people are getting locked and loaded to just fire off a bunch of soup tweets, a bunch of soup pictures, and just steal everybody's soup memes. The George Costanza soup season. Beware of the people that are firing these memes into your life because they're not real soup boys and they're just using it for the clout. And it's offensive to me as a lifetime soup fan, quite frankly. So just watch out for those people because they don't actually love soup. So I'm getting mad about it. I'm getting pre-mad because I've seen a couple people do it already. I've got my eyes on
Name names.
No, I won't. I'm not going to name names. I've got my eyes on you if you're using soup, if you're using my culture for retweets.
Okay.
I'm just know that.
Watch out.
Yeah, there's an eyeball.
All right, my who's back is Dabo. I hadn't seen it in a while, but his run is just the most ridiculous thing ever. Did you see the clip from the other night?
Yeah, he's pretty quick. I timed it from the goal line out to the 40.
Yeah.
I've got him clocked in at a 4.7.
It's if you haven't seen it, just search Dabo. It's all about Dabo. He runs out so fast in front of the team where it's just him on the field by himself. And the guy is like a narcissist to the nth degree, but he wins. So you can't really say anything about him.
I also just like to point out that there's a significant hill that he's just run down. So he still has that speed left over from the hill. That's not all Dabo speed.
The clip, though, is so
fast.
Funny. He's fast, but it's just so funny where it's just like, and here's the Dabo Clemson Tigers, and it's just Dabo. And then the team comes like 15 seconds later. Okay, Jake, finish us off. We will talk to Max. Max won. Max is actually going to be on the show on Wednesday. He was going to be on the show, win or lose. Thank God he won.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Epic 70-second hole. We were watching it together.
Yeah,
we talked about it.
Unreal.
Yeah, so we'll talk to him about it on Wednesday. So tune in on Wednesday.
That was unreal. My who's back is a record watch. Aaron Judge.
Yes.
2 more home runs today. He's at 59, 2 shy of Roger Maris. These final 2 weeks, got to be locked in, even if you're not a Yankee fan. This is history. 61 home runs.
The Yankee record.
And the non-steroid record.
Yeah.
And
what?
Pujols.
And Pujols is close to 700.
Now he's throwing a meatball.
That's exciting.
Now here's
That's not exciting.
Aaron Judge,
excited.
like he's gonna second place.
Here's the thing.
We're giving second place trophies.
No, it wouldn't even be second place.
Has anybody started the witch hunt on Aaron Judge yet?
What's the celebration for?
Should there be an asterisk on these home runs for Aaron Judge because of how close the right field wall is in Yankee Stadium?
Well, the two today were not.
It's regardless, Jake. Don't let the facts get in the way of a take on this one. Let's just have the conversation. How many home runs would Roger Maris have hit if he played in this Yankee Stadium? The launching pad.
I don't know, but plenty of players have gotten to 700. If he can get to 61, no non-cheater has gotten past there.
Do we know that he's clean?
As of now.
Sammy never did anything either.
Yeah.
You can't prove it.
Let me see your piss, Aaron Judge.
Yeah, so 59 right now.
Did Barry get suspended?
2 weeks left.
No.
So.
Yeah.
Asterisk.
No, Barry Bonds never got caught.
I'm excited for it because I put the bet on it for him to hit 62. I'm not trying to take it away from you. It'll be the Yankee record.
Be pretty crazy.
That would be pretty crazy. They've been playing baseball for a long ass time for the Yankees.
Also, it's reached that point in the night where American Ninja Warrior is back on.
Yeah,
That's
and
back.
we went through Johnny Bananas. We always see Johnny Bananas show for a while, and then it goes to American Ninja Warrior. So let's wrap it up. We'll see everyone Wednesday. Max Homa. Numbers brought to you by Paramount Plus. The NFL on CBS is streaming live on Paramount Plus all season long, kicking off. Watch your live local NFL on CBS games every Sunday at home on your TV or any device on the go. Catch feature holiday matchups on Thanksgiving and Christmas, and 3 postseason games, including the AFC Championship game. Go to ParamountPlus.com to start your free trial to watch your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, as well as additional exclusive NFL content. I was streaming on an iPad all Saturday at the Canelo fight, and thank God for streaming. So NFL on Paramount Plus. Check it out now. Get your free trial to watch your live local NFL games on CBS every Sunday, as well as additional exclusive NFL content. Numbers. Hank, have you gotten this before?
I have not. I believe this is the last blue ball one, too. So,
so you're going to switch it up again? You're going to switch it up again?
I'm going to go with 17.
17.
I'm going to go with 18.
I'll go 62 for Aaron Judge.
69.
26.
20.
This is it.
You think you're going to get this?
Yeah.
I'm going to guarantee you don't get it. Guarantee. You're never going to get it.
No.
57. 57.
So close. Love you guys.
Pufferfish can explode.